scared away or negotiated with. You can't call the cops on me. You can't even see me. I'm the threat of family fire, and as long as your guns aren't stored securely, I'll be there. Protect your family. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Whether you are buying or selling a home or even looking for some land to build on and start a family, be sure to give Reed Emerson with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Heritage Group a shout. He is a longtime listener and supporter of Fan Run and has been serving the Mid-State for many years. Reed prides himself on his hassle-free and honest approach, and that's because he's not just chasing another commission. He wants what is best for his clients. Give Reed Emerson a call or text him today to get the process started. His number is 931-492-0418, or you can find him online at bhgheritagegroup.com.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Good morning, Fan Run Nation. Hope you all had a great weekend. Can you feel it outside? Feels like fall. And sure, even if it's a tease and it's only temporary, I am there for it. Bet you are too, because it also means football is here. We can officially say that it's game week for the Vols. And we'll start a week of previewing our guys today with a look at the week one opponent, the Syracuse Orange. We'll also get our typical Monday perspective on the game and what's happening with the Vols when Ryan Schumpert of Rocky Top Insider joins the chat in hour two. Before that, though, we'll Recap the college football appetizer that was week 0. Farmageddon was a sloppy mess, and we've already seen a ranked team take a loss, while we saw another Big 12 team that we may want to keep an eye on, along with a bizarre, wild finish in the Saturday night cap. We'll recap it all for you. NFL preseason wraps up. We'll have some takeaways there. We'll play a little Believe It, Don't Believe It with Russell Smith, and cheers to one of our favorite lads, Tommy Fleetwood, who is now a champion. It's time, people. An official game week kickoff. The countdown is on. Edition of Under Review is incoming, and it all starts now.
From the studios of Fox Sports Knoxville, it's time for Under Review with Bob Baskerville on Fan Run Radio.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Monday, new week, game week. Only 5 days. 5 days till football time in Tennessee. And only 10 days till the regular season NFL football that we love will be kicking off. Like I said in the open, the weather is changing. My gosh, the forecast for the week is great. I mean, just so much. Super happy. We got a lot to cover. Let's get to it. We are coming to you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios of Fan Run Radio. This is Under Review. I'm your host, Bob Baskerville, joined as always by Sam Beard. Got Brett Hollander running solo in the production booth. We got to take it easy on him today, Sam. He's got a lot going on. Just don't bring up Jackson Arnold with him. Seems to be a problem, gets him all triggered. And you, the listener, we always appreciate you spending time with us, no matter how you choose to do it, whether it's on the radio dial. You can find us at AM 1340, FM 105.7, or you stream us live on fanrunradio.com on your desktop or laptop or your mobile device, but you may be also using the free Fan Run mobile app on your mobile device to give us a listen. You can also podcast us. Pretty much wherever you listen to your podcasts these days, you'll find us. We're there. Also on video. If you're watching on Fan Run TV, howdy. Like and subscribe. You can also chat there with us. Getting good interaction. Last week was a good week there. Let's keep building on that. Also, we're available on video on X at Fox Sports Knox. Listen, the bottom line is however you choose to interact with us, however you choose to support the brand, give us a listen, give us a watch, all those things means a lot. We are ready to head into high season, man. And we're happy that you're along for the ride. You can also be a part of the program on a live basis. You can phone or text us. Lines are open. Area code 865-966-3435. That's 966-3435. That number works for both the text box and, of course, the phone lines. You can also communicate with us at the aforementioned X at Fox Sports Knox. Boys, been a long, dry summer. But we're here. We are here. And just think about it. A week from today, we'll be recapping games. Just a full slate of games, not just this week 0 stuff, which was tasty overall. But man, what's coming up this weekend is going to be just magical. Cannot wait. Got our guys playing, got a lot of our big matchups happening. We're going to be breaking it down all week long for you. Let's say hello to the gang quickly. Sam, how was your weekend, man?
Fantastic weekend, Bob. First little taste of football there is week 0 was perfect. Exactly what I needed. Good to get back into the groove of things. Won a couple bets, lost a couple bets, felt the emotions. Got mad at kids my age, basically. What more could you ask for, basically? But yeah, just a good weekend for me. Took it easy, just ball all day long on Saturday. Got out yesterday. Didn't go play golf, just hit a couple balls, enjoyed the weather. Loving this weather. I mean, this walking outside this morning was just fantastic. 65 degrees, wear whatever you want. Not a cloud in the sky right now. It's football time. It's football time in Tennessee. So damn close.
Yeah, so close. So close. Did you watch any more of the Dallas Cowboys doc?
I didn't watch any more of it. I probably should have. Did you get deep into it with Solo Pad this weekend?
Not as much as I thought I would. I watched 2 more episodes, so I'm halfway through it. I
Okay.
watched episode 3 and 4. And buddy, it just does not. It just ages better. I mean, it's funny because I was communicating with a buddy of mine back home in Indiana who grew up a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
It's so funny, man. They really are America's team to some degree because there's Cowboy fans everywhere.
My buddy that's a Cowboys fan, he said he watched the last episode last night and he was like, man, I'm just depressed now.
Well,
because I think it shows like their modern day losses.
Right. And that's what I communicated with this buddy of mine who is a Cowboys fan, even named his dog, who's no longer with us, but he had one back. He had a dog named Aikman.
Nice.
But he said, yeah, I love it. It's bittersweet for me as well, though. We should have won more and now we're not winning. You know, it's like, so I think for a Cowboys fan, it's like that was, man, it'd be peak time if I guess you were a Cowboys fan because you tend to forget as years march on. You were super young at that point. Now, you weren't even around, were you?
Yeah.
And they were dominant, man, for just a couple of seasons. It's crazy. But they're starting to get into about the tension between Jerry and Jimmy, and they you'll be able to predict it like after episode 3. There's always been an iconic buzz term from Jimmy Johnson that he fires out.
Sure.
It's great.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'll probably get a little bit more into it this week.
Yeah, it'd be worth you getting into before you start to get just totally immersed in real live.
Yeah, before it
football.
just gets before it slips away into the wayside,
That's I hate to say it, man. That's kind of where I'm at with Hard Knocks right now. I'm a little behind and I'm not sure I'm going to catch it.
I feel like it hasn't been the greatest so far. I've watched 2 episodes. I just don't like, everyone knows the Bills, and everyone likes Josh Allen. We kind of know the story of the Bills already a little bit.
Right.
I don't know why they picked the Bills, to be quite honest with you. I was hoping my Titans would get it.
Wow. Easy there.
We were one of the teams that was nominated.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think it's a kiss of death, man. I'm telling you, when the Colts did that mid-season one.
I think the mid-season one is not good, yeah.
It just, everything falls apart.
Yeah.
And it's never gotten better since. But I think they did the Buffalo thing because you got the, kind of the other backstories with the fan base and everything else. I figured that might be why they were doing it. But I'm behind and I may not finish it. Can't believe I'm saying that, but it's kind of where I'm at. Also, when I was on Netflix last night, I was getting ready to watch episode 4 of America's Team, and they sometimes, how they snag you on Netflix, they get you with a trailer that they're playing right off the bat. And now I could kind of kick myself. I started watching this like a year ago, and then I quit after 1 episode. Have any of you watched The Night Agent?
Never seen it.
I think I started at one point, but never really got into it.
The trailer it got me
They're
like
on season 2 for it now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think they were showing it. And I'm like, man, this thing looks good. I wonder why I just quit watching. I think it might have just been time strapped or something, but I'm going to have to pick that one up because I don't really have a scripted series I'm paying attention to at the moment. So, but it was a good weekend, man. There was a lot. The golf was
great.
What a great story.
Shout out Tommy.
There was that moment, man, where it felt like Chef was lurking. He was only like a stroke or 2 down. There were like 4 holes left. I was like, man, that's not enough of a lead.
Yeah.
Not with Scotty.
Yeah.
But
just couldn't piece it together.
No.
Not putting well. Couple uncharacteristic iron shots and drives for him.
Yeah.
Good to see Tommy get his time though.
Definitely. Brett, how are you, man?
Good. Watched the Friday night football as well.
Oh, that was great.
Maryville
Good game there.
Alcoa was a good one. I guess a lot of games in the area though didn't even make it. Didn't even get to kick off, and some didn't even make it to a second half because of the storms that came through. So a little disappointing. I listened to a little bit of Tim and Spencer afterwards and stuff. It's a fun show. Good, couple good dudes with Bubba on there and stuff. So that was fun. I listened to them for a bit and helped my dad build a couple shelves in his garage Saturday morning. Took way too long to do this stuff, and Mom bought this. I don't know why she bought a shelf from Aldi. And it was this plastic thing. And me and my brother were just so frustrated. We wanted to take it out back and just throw it away. So I don't know if we pieced it together real well, but we did that on Saturday. Watched a little football, a lot of golf, a lot of soccer. So just a good weekend. And then last night did a soccer podcast kind of recapping what happened in the Premier League and what's to come on that. And so, yeah, just I think that's the way the weekends are going to be right now. It's yeah, enjoying the weather as well. So, yeah, pretty good weekend overall.
Yeah, that high school game was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, I those guys, they never disappoint. It's always a close game, and
our guy Russell, good on the call.
He was great.
Yeah,
he got a little excited.
He did.
Kept calling that quarterback at Alcoa exotic because of the way he does a lot of running, and I couldn't help.
He could move.
I think he was thinking of his hair too. It was hanging out of his helmet. I think the backstory was he was at Maryville.
He was, yeah.
Oh, really?
He wasn't getting any playing time, so
there was a lot of chirping. It seemed like when he would get tackled, and some of the guys were giving it to him. So
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Pistol Creek is. That's
would have been interesting if they caught that free play. Basically, is what happened at the end there.
I think it was the week that you were gone, Bob. But like when we in our off-season football talks, when we did like best names of rivalries.
Yeah.
If we could get the high school, Maryville Alcoa's high school rivalry nickname into the college mix, it's hard to top the Battle of Pistol Creek.
I know.
It's a badass nickname.
It's a great name. It's a great name. And what do they call the one in like Loudoun County, Lenoir City, Battle of the Bridge?
Yeah, Battle of the Bridge.
I like that.
I think that's this weekend.
Yeah.
Or this Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. It was it was good. I had to go pick up my daughter because, again, wifey's out of town, and she was at the Webb game, and she needed a ride home because her person who took her ended up leaving a little early, and she wanted to stay. But I got there because the game was getting out of hand. Upperman was kicking their ass, apparently, and then a lot of Webb, like their top players, 2 or 3 of their top players got hurt and had to leave the game. But I picked her up, literally, called her. She was walking out, got in the car. As she was getting in the car, it started drop, 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 drop. And then by the time we shut the door, put the car in gear, just unloaded. Just
it was pouring rain.
Pouring. So she got lucky, but she said that she had gotten dumped on before. They delayed the start of the game because of lightning. And she goes, well, I've already been, rained on once. And I think that game, they didn't finish it. I think they just decided it was like 29-7.
And Spencer, I was talking to him. He said they just called it a tie. Like that's
the Webb
game. They gave it a tie because it basically doesn't have any implications on anything. But instead of giving Webb a loss, and I think they called it a tie according to what Spencer said.
That's good for Webb because they were overmatched.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
lucky.
Well, Spencer said Upperman. Spencer's dad was at the game, and he said Upperman just had these big old dudes like corn-fed, they're
country
boys.
And their quarterback, I saw the video highlights on the news. Their quarterback scored like 4 rushing touchdowns. He was like as big as me, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a big boy too. So yeah, they were tough. Which is so crazy because at the beginning of the show Friday, we were like, I don't even know who Upperman is. Then we started looking them up, going, well, they're ranked and they were in the playoffs.
Well, and of course, Beard and West didn't get to play at all, and so I was glad I wasn't getting any Russell, smack talking because West Beard and
I didn't check if that game.
Yeah, they got
canceled.
They got postponed.
I was thinking about that. I think yesterday I was like, I didn't see any obnoxious tweets from Russell this weekend.
Because he was gonna
West
go.
Got killed.
Yeah,
I was here Saturday briefly, and Russell was here too. And he was at that point he was planning on going, but I was like, man, the weather doesn't sound great. And then sure enough, one more wave of all those downpours.
Yeah.
And there was some serious lightning Saturday night too, so they couldn't have gotten it off. So they're not playing it at all.
Yeah, I don't know how you fit in the schedule now.
Wow. I just got a note from Biven. Said that thanks for having me on the show on Friday. We had enormous TV ratings. So
there we go. It was a great game.
Yeah. I think he's bucking to be on the show regularly is what it's going on there. But I do want to have him on Friday because he teased something saying they're going to.
He did. Yeah, that's right.
They're doing something. And he did it at the end of the TV game too. He wouldn't say what. Mm-hmm. So it's what we call a tease in the business, Sam.
Here we go.
I guess I'd like for him to come clean and tell us, but what are you going to do? Trying to think of anything else that happened over the weekend. We're going to talk college football in a little while. I would grade the college football games, by the way. Like, it was good football was back, but they were like, nothing I saw was like amazing, honestly. Not like this weekend's going to be.
I don't know. Stanford, Hawaii was pretty good.
Yeah. Stanford, Hawaii was good. You must have not been locked into UNLV Idaho State.
I had trouble finding that. I ended up watching it on my phone.
It was definitely difficult to find the Mountain West network.
Yeah.
I didn't know they've got a network.
Oh, they've always had it, but they clearly don't have any distribution anywhere. You had to like stream it on your phone. Basically.
Oh, I'm surprised like a Dan Mullen first game wouldn't be a little more high profile, but
that would have been a hell of an upset, by the way, if that had gone through. Man, the FCS team beating a team that was some have considered to be a
they were close
group of a G5 playoff team. I gotta admit, I'll be following that Micah Alejado guy.
Yeah.
What a baller.
If he's healthy. Dude just playing on like a broken foot, I think.
That was I could not believe he was still playing when you saw the replay of what happened.
Gamer.
Definitely gamer. Now,
did you hear his high school stats too? Like, I know the kid's 5'10", 180, but like, let's not act like Bryce Young wasn't 5'10".
Yeah.
They said that he played for Bishop Gorman, which is one of the most dominant college high school football programs in the country. Said he threw for like 140 passing touchdowns and 6 interceptions in his career or something like that. Like, insane stats.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I got sucked in. Remember, Sam? I think you were there too. I went with Stanford. I went with Stanford money line, as a matter of fact. I mean,
I was on the Rainbow Warriors. That was my big win for the end of the night because UNLV killed me.
There's some thinking Stanford may not win a game. I didn't realize they're considered that down.
Kid from my high school was actually on their offensive line.
Really?
I was watching the game. I was like, wait, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Looking at their schedule, they might not.
They have a clean uniform look too, by the way. It's something about it's kind of like a red version of us, just that white helmet. Like it. I like it.
They need Andrew Luck to play quarterback.
I was going to say,
they're going to win.
Just have him out there in street clothes playing quarterback.
I did like him up in the booth, just like getting after it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some questionable stuff there. Frank Reich not using timeouts. I didn't understand some of the stuff that was going on there. But so, yeah, that game was a little weird. I just thought, I think maybe I was expecting just something epic from Farmageddon, and it was pretty good at the end. But, man, that first half was like, what the hell are we watching here, man? And I don't know if you saw Brett Yormark talking afterwards. He was kind of like, probably not coming back to do something like this. And then also he segued right into, with the way the schedule rotation's going, these guys may not be playing each other again regularly. And it's not a rivalry game to the extent of Iowa State, Iowa, and Kansas, K-State, but it's kind of a rivalry game. And he was kind of shutting it down, which it's like, that's a weird time to be bringing this up.
Right.
Not sure if you want to do that. Maybe that's what the Johnson family was fighting about. They were pissed about that.
That was an awesome clip.
I know. We'll get to all that here shortly. Let's take a first time out. We got a lot to cover today. We're going to start our week-long coverage of Tennessee, Syracuse. We'll have a guy from Syracuse on the show tomorrow who covers the Orange, try to learn a little bit more about them. We'll take our first stab at it today, just top-line stuff. And then also talk about something that I'll put in before we hit the break that I want people to think about for Tennessee. We have spent a lot of time when we talk about the Vols, talking about Joey Aguilar, talking about Boo Carter, talking about the wide receiver room, and a few others. But think about this. Who is the player that we have not been talking about, but maybe should be going into this weekend? Like, who intrigues us the most, and we just haven't spent any time discussing them? I've got mine. Be interested to hear what you guys think, and listeners, what you may think too. We're going to talk about all of that when we get back here after a quick timeout. Topic A. It's game week time, folks. Tennessee, Syracuse. Let's talk about it. We'll be right back after this. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half. Simple luxury for on and off the course.
For today, someone from the 865 on the text box left a message here and us talking about the Dallas Cowboys documentary, and they said, Effin' Jerry, Cowboys fan since about the age of 6 in 1978. Jerry Jones was the solution at the time and became the problem really damn quick. I'd say Jerry definitely has that central character syndrome. He definitely likes being the guy. I think he likes it more than winning. And if you're watching that documentary, you'll get the sense that that is part of the problem. That was part of the undoing, the downfall of him and Jimmy. Not that that's a surprise, but I found myself liking Jimmy Johnson a lot in this because he's annoyed me for so long.
Really?
Yeah, I guess I kind of liked him. Well, I've liked him since he went to Fox.
Yeah, I like him on the Fox pregame stuff.
Yeah, well, he's done now. He's retired from it. So it just starting this year.
Right, yeah.
So
Gronk taking his spot, right?
Yeah. We talked about Joey Molinaro doing Gronk.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We got to get him back on, man. Got to figure out a way to incorporate him. What did we do? We did like game pick'ems with him. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Where he talked about
impersonate different people based on the game, basically.
Well, he did Coach Prime and he did Saban and like all his greatest hits, man. He was fabulous. But he does an amazing Gronk. But you almost have to see it too because he's got all the body motions down of Gronk. It's pretty solid. Topic A today. Game week has arrived for the Tennessee Vols. First up, the Syracuse Orange. Now, just a little overview on them. Again, we'll dig deeper because I got to tell you in terms of their players, I don't know a whole lot about their players other than Steve Angeli is going to be their starting quarterback because they lost a lot. And we'll talk tomorrow with a guy by the name of Mike McAllister, who's with the 247 affiliate up in Syracuse and checked out some of his work. He does a good job covering the Orange. So we'll learn more about them in some detail tomorrow, but we'll talk top line about them today. So last season, Fran Brown, that was his first season, right? As head coach?
Yeah.
Took over. Wheels came off under Dino Babers because I really thought he was the guy for a while. I was like, okay, he's got them going, but they were notoriously a team that would get off to a fast start, maybe get to a 5-0 start and then lose 5 in a row. And I think the administration just got sick of it and ousted Dino, brought in Fran Brown. I didn't know what to expect about Fran Brown. I just don't think I did enough homework on him. Sam's been kind of a fan of him, and then we became both fans of him during the season last year because he
doesn't shower with soap.
Yeah, just does some wild stuff. But they came out in his first year, which appeared to be like a rebuild year, presumably. They finished 10-3, had a bowl win. And the other thing, Sam, is they played against teams that were in and out of the rankings during the season. They played 4 ranked teams, and they won 3 of those games, too, including that win late in the season that was like they ruined Miami's postseason chances, too. So, I mean, last year was a big success for Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean, you had Kyle McCord come in there from Ohio State and really do some good things at the quarterback position for them, and to be honest with you, just had a lot of guys that were able to kind of go in there and kind of seamlessly transition and do a really good year one. Now you come into this year and they've lost, more than 20 guys to the portal, several guys to the NFL in the offseason. I think a lot of those big playmakers for them, some of those guys aren't there anymore. And so they're going to have to go out there and they went into the portal. They got a bunch of different guys. They kind of reloaded in a sense, but now it's what we talk about every single time with some of these teams that go out there and are super aggressive in the portal and kind of choose to build a roster year in, year out through that. You're going to have to mesh pretty quick, and it is definitely a tall task for a Syracuse team coming off of a really strong season to now mesh and kind of wipe the slate clear and say, hey, last year was a good year, but we got to go out there and accomplish it again this year. It's a tall task to do that against an SEC team right off the jump.
Yeah, agreed. I was just looking at their 3 losses last year. They lost to Stanford by 2. They lost to They got smoked by Pitt. That was really the only kind of hiccup they had. I'm just saying, who else did they lose to? Oh, they lost to Boston College at Chestnut Hill by 6. It was a good team.
Yeah,
glad we're not playing that team this year. But you're right, Sam. They obviously they lose McCord, who opted for the NFL draft. They lost their sole 1,000-yard rusher in the backfield. They lost their 3 top wide receivers. They lost 4 of their 5 offensive linemen that started. I think they return a total of 8 starters. But the ones that are returning, quite honestly, are kind of the lesser players. Like you said, all the guys that left on defense, they lost like their 7 top tacklers. So, I mean, it's now this is kind of the reboot. Apparently last year, maybe wasn't so much. They also have one of the toughest schedules in the country, toughest in the ACC for sure. And we've talked about this when we were reading off some of the rankings of toughest schedules. They were in the top 10. So this, you look at that and it's like, Tennessee should have them right where we want them, right? Neutral site, although it should be more Vols centric.
Mm-hmm.
Just being down the road in Atlanta. Tennessee's
better be.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say Tennessee's a 13.5 point favorite. I'll ask you and Brett this. If you were a betting man right now, just this time of the week, you might change your mind later in the week. Where are you placing your money on this one?
I'm still taking the Tennessee spread at 13.5. I think William and I in here on Thursday or Friday he was like, what's Josh Heupel's average points per game against non-SEC Power 4 opponents in his career here at Tennessee? And I don't remember the exact number. I believe it was like 46 points a game though against non-SEC Power 4 opponents in his tenure here at Tennessee. So I don't know. I think this is a team that is replacing a lot. They're replacing 3 of their 5 starters on the offensive line. Normally, Tennessee's defensive line, one of your strengths for you. They're losing some of their best pass rushers on their defensive line, and they kind of struggled to stop the run even at times last year. And so I think when the strength of this Tennessee offense is going to be running the football, to me, those are 2 things that make me feel a lot more confident about going out there and being able to win the game by 2 touchdowns. Is it going to be a bet that's like over in the first quarter type of thing and you can just coast for the entire game? I don't necessarily think so, but I do think, eventually in that second half, you'll pull away by a few scores.
Brett, what do you think?
You're going to make me do this? No, I think I'm right on that number of like 14. I think we'll cover, but not by much. And it's hard on these first games. Like, I feel like I got to give Syracuse a little bit of benefit of the doubt just because they were a good football team last year. I completely don't know much about them, but what I knew they did lost. You got like Tennessee, just the simple fact that I don't think they're going to muster up enough points against our defense. And I think I got to give us a lot of credit with the run game and things like that, like Sam said. So it may not be the prettiest game, but I think we'll score, get that 2 touchdown victory.
Yeah, I think I think if this were a week or 2 ago, maybe it's just because we're getting so close to it starting and I'm starting to sheep out a little bit. But if this were a week or 2 ago, I think I would probably take Syracuse and the points. Again, I fully expect Tennessee to win, but I was at that time thinking it's probably like a 10-point game. That's what I'm seeing. For some reason, I feel differently now. And I'm not thinking this is going to be just like a massacre, but I do think Tennessee could win by 3 touchdowns. I really believe they could. But, man, I would say, and as the week goes on, we'll keep reiterating some of the keys to the game. I think one of them is what we talked about last season, and they were, frankly, particularly in the SEC, they were horrible at it, is get out to an early start. Jump out there, man. I just don't want to. My biggest worry in this game on Saturday is that we see a little more of what we saw last year, where at halftime, we have maybe not 0 points, but we have like 6.
I was gonna say it can't get much worse than halftime at last year, Bob. We had a lot of goose eggs up there.
That's what I'm saying. So I just hope it's not a continuation of that. I think if we can just get out to a quick start, score on the first possession, kind of make a statement, then I feel better. I feel better about what it could be. But I do. I feel like that's possible. The more I started looking at some of this stuff about Syracuse, the more I started thinking, man, they are starting not from scratch, but it's pretty damn close, man. And we talk about Angeli, and we know that was a quarterback that Tennessee, at least the Tennessee fan base, kind of said we should want to have. And I mean, he played some moments for Notre Dame and was critical for them, but I mean, it's like I don't feel like he's got the same level of experience that Joey has, at least in-game experience. Angeli's played in some big games, but it was spot relief versus like having to carry the team. So I don't know. I just feel pretty good about Tennessee in that regard. I think I trust that defense. I don't trust I don't maybe respect Syracuse's offense like we would have last year, clearly, with McCord. Although McCord, that's the other thing. So let's talk about that for a second. Do we think McCord just kind of wilted, or maybe the expectations were too high at Ohio State? Because when he went to Syracuse, I thought that was kind of a nothing burger, and he ended up obviously being really good. Do you think it's was just part of the system at Syracuse?
Probably nice to go to the ACC instead of the Big Ten every week too.
True.
But yeah, I mean, I think he kind of revived himself well. They did a great job in terms of their passing attack. I mean, they averaged 370 yards per game in that sense, and averaged 34 points a game, 468 total as an offense. So like they were able to push the ball downfield. And also another thing that they were just really good at last year was controlling the football. Like they had long drives. Like they're going back to last year and just looking at some stuff that they were number 6 in the country in terms of time of possession. So like, I feel like that has been a little bit of a crutch maybe for Tennessee at times too. You've seen, I feel like in a few games in years past, where a team goes out there and kind of has that long drive to start the game, and you keep the offense on the bench a little bit. You stall them out. You kind of take the air out of the stadium a little bit. I'm sure that'll be something that Syracuse wants to do as well, is to kind of just control the tempo of this game and limit possessions for Tennessee, and make that offense go out there and make the most of every single opportunity and give them as few tries as possible, because I think it's a Syracuse team that probably does feel pretty good about their identity.
Yeah.
But I like our identity too.
I do too. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Feeling pretty good. But Brett's saying we're winning, right?
Yeah, I don't feel confident about the 13.5. That's a big number, you know, especially with the unknown of our team. Like I just don't know where we are, who's going to be playing. You know, we're not fully going to be there on defense with Hobbs out, McCoy out. What's Boo Carter going to be doing? So, I mean, there are enough questions to make you think that the number's a little big.
Well, the one thing the variable we can't really predict too is Josh. And what I mean by that is, you know, we saw this against Oklahoma, where I think Oklahoma, you know, the final score didn't really indicate, you know, I felt like we were in charge of that game. But Josh, it's very clear he was trying to just mitigate damage with Oklahoma had an aggressive defense last year. Nico had turned the ball over a couple of times. It was like, let's just start to methodically beat them into the ground. Does he do that with Joey this time more so just to protect him? It's like, you know, he gets off to a good, efficient start, and it's like, yeah, we're good. Let's just keep his mind in the right place. Don't put too much on him. That's one thing that I could see happen. I don't feel we're in danger of losing this game by any stretch, but there are a lot of variables that could impact. I'm still going to stand by my belief that they're going to win by potentially 3 touchdowns. And
who's your one player you were mentioning?
I'm going to get to that in the next segment.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a lead up, Brett.
I got you.
We're going.
I got you.
But yeah, I think that's really what, that's the part we don't know. You know, Josh could ruin it all for us guys if we're betting. Just keep that in mind. Damn coach.
What about the 50.5? Is it 50.5? Is that
For the total? I don't know.
Is that the total?
Have you seen
I ain't touching that.
Yeah.
It's too high, or obviously
I can't tell. I mean, could be a low scoring game where you just kind of grind them out. And to Bob's point, it's kind of like that Oklahoma game where you just control the ball for a while. Or I think you could just see Syracuse's not so great defense just kind of get exposed too, and Tennessee could
because you don't anticipate Syracuse helping out with that number too much.
Not a whole lot.
No,
not a whole lot.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I just think I could see Josh doing something like, "Hey, Joey, you look good, kid. Let's just take the foot off the gas now. We're not going to lose this game." Just kind of.
Or hey, you don't have many reps with your with your team so far yet, so let's build some confidence up.
God, I'd love to see it. There's nothing that's more exciting than. Do you remember in the Lane Kiffin era, short as it was, that first game against Western Kentucky? We scored I think 66 points. Something like that. And it was like, that is such a, I don't care it was against Western Kentucky. It's like, man, that kind of statement just fires you up for what lies ahead.
I do wonder if there's something to be said for you've got a veteran quarterback in Joey Aguilar who's played a lot of football so far. Not that, playing a bad game for Tennessee, that could potentially kind of shatter his confidence a little bit. But I feel like so much of it with holding it back last year was like, hey, let's not put too much on Nico's plate. Let's not shatter his confidence. Let's continue to build him up. Whereas Joey Aguilar's gone out and played football before. He's a gunslinger. That's his mentality. He's gone out there and said it before. So maybe it is kind of the opposite. And Heupel's like, hey man, you go out there and let's air the football out and let's go make some plays and let's get some confidence that way, instead of just like, hey, we're up by 24 now. We can hold this thing off. You don't have to do anything else. Maybe they just go out there and let them sling it.
Like the NC State game last year.
Let's hope.
Yeah. We're going to find out soon enough, boys. It's getting here. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll get back to that one question I posed earlier in the show. If there's one player you're most interested in that we haven't been spending much time talking about in these weeks leading up to the game, who's that player on the Vols? Like I said, I have mine. I'm never going to tell you. Now I'll tell you in the next segment. We'll be right back after this. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
You're locked onto Fan Run Radio, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and online at fanrunradio.com.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Hi, I'm Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or just need a change, it's never been more important to have experienced, trustworthy representation in the real estate process. So if you have any real estate questions, I'd love the opportunity to earn your trust. Call me anytime for a free chat, 865-742-1035, or find me online at bonowshouses.com. The Kregner Group, real estate the right way.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Continuing the conversation, the first of many this week, heading into Tennessee Syracuse, the season opener, mere days away. Can taste it, can smell it. Maybe not smell it, I don't know. It's close. But here's the question that I posed at the beginning of the show. For weeks now, feels like longer, but for weeks we've been talking about some key players on this Vol team that have occupied our headspace heading into the season opener. So we've talked about Joey Aguilar. We've talked about we've talked about Boo Carter more than I ever thought we were going to. Talked about key wide receivers. Talked about running backs. Probably others. So my question is, think back on that, and we'll start with the guys here. And if there's any interaction, you can always feel free to hit us up on the live chat on Fan Run TV, or you can hit us up on the text box, or you can call in 966-3435 is that number. But the question is, what player going into this weekend's game for the Vols that we have not been talking about is one that you're most intrigued about? I'll start with mine. For me, I don't feel like we've talked about Ricky Gibson at all. And all I can think back to is the gun he put to the Vols' head in the offseason, saying, I might have to go, man. I need more money. Apparently it got worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky had a great year last year, man. Kind of key for that defensive backfield. And with what we don't know about Boo in terms of his status, I know it's not the same positions, but and the fact that Jermod McCoy, he's not going to be playing, at least for a little while. I just feel like that's a guy that's super critical to anchor some of that defensive backfield prowess down.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Because that was a name I didn't mention. I mentioned Joey. I mentioned Boo. We talked a lot about Jermod. Not because he's an issue. He's obviously a baller, but it's more about his status and when's he going to be back and what he means to that team. And, how concerned are we that he's not out there? I just think Gibson's a pretty integral piece. I mean, I feel like we've talked about Colton Hood more than we've talked about Ricky Gibson.
Maybe, yeah. I was going to say, I'll take it one step further. I feel like Colton Hood's a guy that maybe needs to get talked about more. Maybe hasn't been talked to. We've definitely talked about Colton Hood, but I think maybe needs to be talked about more because, I expect him to be a very productive player, and I think that's going to be a very underrated aspect of Tennessee's early start to the season. I'm with you there, Bob. I think Ricky Gibson's going to have a great start to the year. I think Colton Hood's going to be a guy, kind of opposite of him that can really fill the shoes of Jermod McCoy as best as we kind of can. And then, I think you're going to have a lot of really good depth once Jermod McCoy comes back there too. I'm excited. I'm excited about this secondary as long as we get kind of some quality safety play from some of these young guys.
Brett, who do you have on your mind that we haven't been talking about?
I'm going secondary as well. I think Andre Turrentine was the one for me. An experienced guy coming back next year. Probably going to have a new young kid next to him in the secondary at safety. You don't have to really worry about that left corner or whatever Gibson's going to play, but maybe you're going to have to lean more on those young kids and, with the Colton Hood over there or a new star position. So I'm just looking at Turrentine, just a leader of that secondary. Not a big flashy guy, but just a veteran presence back there that we haven't really talked about. But I think having to break in a new free safety, you had Will Brooks there last year who may not have been the best athlete, but knew the system that Willie Martinez was trying to do. But I think with him back there, you kind of have a veteran leader that maybe we haven't spoken a lot about going into next season, I guess this will be his third year starting in the system. So I think that could be a key for the secondary and for this defense as a whole, So I think just going off a name we haven't mentioned, I think that was the one that came to mind that I was just thinking about that in the brief moment I had to think about one. But yeah, I think Turrentine could be a key for us back there as well.
When we talk about, so we mentioned 3 different names there in the defensive backfield.
Yeah.
That actually, it's like what Sam
Colton
said.
Hood's not my pick. I'm going to take Josh Josephs, by the way.
Oh, okay. So you totally psyched us out.
Well, I was just tying in Colton Hood to your point about Ricky Gibson being that we're going to have a good secondary even without Jermod McCoy, I think.
Yeah, it just makes me, I guess what I was going to say too, is it makes me feel a little less anxious about our defensive backfield. Feels like we might have some guys. But you finish your thought now on Joseph.
I just expect Josh Josephs to have a really huge year. I was going between a few guys on the defensive line. I was kind of between Tyree West or Josh Josephs. But I don't know. I do feel like for the star potential that Josh Josephs has and a guy that can kind of skyrocket up some draft boards even this year, I feel like he hasn't had enough buzz around him. And I think he's been a guy that was fantastic in the run defense last year. I think he's continuing to get much better as a pass rusher. 71 tackles last year, 16 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, 16 QB hurries, a couple forced fumbles as well. Like, I just think he's a guy that's going to really kind of take on the position that you need him to this year, just being kind of one of those veteran leaders in the room. And I think he's going to have more of a James Pierce-like impact than maybe we're kind of talking about here in the summer.
That's a good one. Again, when you think about those things, what we've just talked about, we said it earlier when we were talking about we're not too concerned about our defense in this game against Syracuse. It's just, we got guys. My question to you guys is, there's a lot of belief. I mean, we'll talk with Schump about this in the next segment as we kick off hour 2, but it won't be a shocker if Boo Carter is not playing on Saturday, right? Who becomes that star position player? Who assumes that role, do you think? Do you think it's McMurray?
Potentially. I do wonder, just how much kind of trust do they have in the young guys type of thing, because I do think there's not a whole lot, behind Boo there. Jordan Thomas is hurt. I would maybe expect it to be McMurray. I feel like they've said that Beasley's maybe had some time working there at some point, but now they've kind of moved him more into that safety role. Can Colton Hood play that? If it were up to me, I'd just let Boo Carter play week 1 because I think that star position is such a need and you don't have too much behind it. I think you got to at some point say, water under the bridge. Let's go and help this football team instead of continuing to kind of keep him off the football field. But That's just me.
I guess it's probably weird, right? The one thing I agree, by the way, I just think I'm trying to get into the mind of like a Josh Heupel. It's probably weird if he's trying to send a message, and like we could definitely use him against Syracuse. We would not need him against ETSU more than likely. Although Cade McNamara, man, he could sling it. So maybe that's some of the psychology to this, but that would be a perfect world scenario though, if he like played in game one, at least on a limited basis. And then in game two, it's like, yeah, you're not getting out there. We'll just have to see. Brett, your thoughts on who might inherit the star position in the event that Boo's not out there starting?
Yeah, it seems like it's got to be McMurray. I mean, it's just looking at the depth chart that they've got here. I mean, it's just there's not a lot there to choose from, and I'm kind of with Sam. Maybe you just have him sit for a half or something, but the depth isn't great behind if Boo doesn't play,
right?
And you don't want needless injuries, things like that. But he may sit a quarter or something, but I can't see him sitting the whole game. I feel like he's done. Seems like he's doing his due diligence and stuff like that.
Did I just see something over the weekend? Didn't he spend some of his money on getting jerseys for Bradley Central?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
Okay. Wonder if that's part of the requirement. I just can't imagine Boo just took that upon himself. It was like, hey, man, I want to get these guys some new fit.
Maybe he did.
I don't know. I'd love for that to be like Josh saying, hey, there it is. That's the coup de grace. Now you're good. Let's get out there.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the fact he's been running with the one so much that he just got to feel like if you weren't going to play him week one, we'd be hearing somebody. I haven't because they haven't been able to see practice, but
yeah,
maybe it's different this past week.
Yeah. Again, finding out soon enough. The days are ticking by now, and I mean, it is this week. It's happening, and we'll get the depth chart out a little later today, which typically won't give us much direction.
Or
yeah, a lot of ors. All right, let's hit a break. That wraps up hour one of the show. When we return, kicking off hour two, we'll continue this conversation and more with Ryan Schumpert from Rocky Top Insider, joining us on Mondays like he typically does. We'll get Shump's take on all this stuff too. He's always got all the answers. Hold him responsible. He's our ball knower. Well, we know a little, but Shump always helps. We'll get to it with him when we kick off hour two. Stick around. You're listening to Under Review, and it's Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4242 4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hour 2 of Under Review starts now.
You've got Bob and Sam and Brett here on a Monday game week. Feels good to say that. Appreciate you coming along for the ride. You can let us know what's on your mind in terms of this game, in terms of Tennessee, in terms of what worries you the most about the game, what is most intriguing to you about the game. We'll talk about it all. You can reach us at area code 865-966-3435. That's 966-3435. You can also hit us up on X at Fox Sports Knox or chat on the live chat over on Fan Run TV. Time to get another perspective. We've spent the first hour talking about this big game against the Orange. Let's get a point of view from another guy who does just a wonderful job covering all things Vol athletics. Does it for Rocky Top Insider, friend of the show. Ryan Schumpert has joined the chat. Ryan, thanks for hopping on. How you been, man?
He should be there.
He's so excited he's speechless.
I can try him back.
Yeah, I want you to try him back.
Okay.
In the meantime, I was looking, because I wanted to get his take on this too, is some of these bowl projections as we head into the season opener for Tennessee. Have you seen some of these?
I have not. If it ain't the college football playoff, I don't care, Bob.
It ain't the college football playoff.
Well, I don't care.
You would not be interested in Kinder's Texas Bowl?
The seasoning?
I guess. I don't know. It has to be. I think of food when I think of Texas.
Kinder's does make some good seasonings.
Let's see what Shump has to say about this. Sounds like we've established our connection now. Ryan, you there?
Yeah, you guys got me?
We have you, man. Thank you for hopping
There we
on.
go.
We were just digging in deep while we were reconnecting to, and maybe you could weigh in on this, because I saw the piece on RTI about the bowl projections heading into this opening weekend. And I was just asking Sam, how's he feel about checking out the Kinder's Texas Bowl? That's they got us going against Iowa State. That's what Schlabach had projected.
Yeah, I feel like that's one Tennessee. I don't believe, I think I didn't write that specific article you're referencing, but I did write some bowl projections, I don't know, earlier this month sometime, and I think I saw one that had Tennessee in it at that point too. And yeah, I don't believe Tennessee's ever played in that bowl. One that we occasionally see some bowl projections for, but yeah, I typically feel like, maybe it's different in the new kind of bowl era, but you got a bowl game in Houston with SEC tie-ins. Makes me think that LSU or Arkansas or Missouri or Texas A&M must all be in much better bowl games if they think Tennessee's going to play in it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I saw one more projection from On3, Brett McMurphy having us playing on New Year's Eve in the RelaQuest Bowl against Iowa, and I don't ever want to play Iowa again, man. It's like, just please don't even try to think that into existence. Okay, before I get
I like the Iowa matchup because it's just a game Tennessee's going to win.
Well,
bowl games don't matter, so
true.
You shouldn't find yourself talking yourself into anything long term from a bowl game anyway, which I think is the concern that you run into with Iowa. Is, kind of like Nico, you get yourself too hyped up, but you shouldn't be getting yourself hyped up for anything long term off a bowl game anywhere. Just collect a win for the record book.
That's a fair outlook. And you're right, particularly if this thing expands to a field of 16 for the college football playoffs eventually or something else. It just feels more and more like these bowls are going to just grow in irrelevancy. So it's a good mindset to have, Ryan. I like it. Okay, before we get into our questions, one more thing. We had Sylvia on late last week, and he said even though he lost to you, he feels he is the better pickleball player. Would you concur?
Yeah, I would concur to that, which, I think I was using that well to my advantage, before and after we were playing. It's just like, man, you're definitely better than me. How did you just lose to me? You won't possibly lose to me again when you're definitely better than me. So, now we've only played a handful of times, fewer pickleball outings than golf outings, but based on the full body of work, I would definitely say I think he's better than me.
So you guys are just doing like kind of the Olympic Games of the Ryans. Like you guys, what's on the tap for this week? Is it something like, like cornhole or something else? I mean,
we were watching some games on Saturday. Jack Foster was in town hanging out with us, so we were getting some cornhole in. Jack was definitely the best of us three. I would say I was better than Sylvia, but it was, the gap was probably smaller there just compared to me and Jack.
I told the guys here, because I've seen it firsthand, you got to keep Foster off the bowling lanes, right? He's like he's
former state champion.
Yeah, he drops that about halfway through the round we were all playing. Like, he's just knocking pins down, going, well, yeah, I did win state at one point.
Sylvia mentioned ping pong, I think, as well.
Yeah, ping
pong.
Oh
yeah, Tennessee has, when they have their basketball, has their media availabilities in the Chris Lawson room at Pratt Pavilion. There's a ping pong table in there, and Sylvia and I typically get at least one game in, if not multiple, once we get done working after the media availability.
There you go. Well, you'll have to keep us posted on your competitions. It's always fun to hear. Let's talk a little bit about the game this weekend. Nice to be able to say it's the game this weekend and not weeks away. We talked a little bit about Syracuse, and we'll dig deeper on them as the week goes on. But, man, I got to admit, it's a little tough. I mean, you can talk Steve Angeli. We know who he is. But, man, they lost a lot last year. In your prep for the week ahead and everything, what's your takeaway so far on what you're seeing about Syracuse, if anything?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of what you just said. I think on paper, you look at them, and just before you even get too much into looking at the team, you say, all right, well, they went 10-3 last year with a first-year coach. This is kind of crazy that they're 14-point underdogs. It's pretty crazy that I think DraftKings has their over-under win total at 5.5 on the season. So, but then you start to look into it a little bit more, and maybe some of that feels a little dramatic still to me, but they certainly lose a ton. Kyle McCord gone, like Tennessee, which I think this bodes well for Tennessee in this game. They had to go get a quarterback in the portal in the spring window, so there's not a ton of continuity there. Top two receivers gone, tight end that had 900 receiving yards a year ago gone, running back that had over 1,500 all-purpose yards gone, 3 of 5 starters on the offensive line gone, and a defense that frankly wasn't very good last year still loses a bulk of production. So it is, in a lot of ways, I wouldn't go quite as far as saying a completely new team, because especially what that can look like when you say that in basketball or baseball, it truly can be a completely different team. But by football standards, it's about as close to a completely new team as it can be. So, yeah, I think it's hard to a degree to get a feel for them. And just because they're completely new doesn't mean they're going to necessarily be terrible, or as bad as maybe the the experts in Las Vegas think, but it does. You do start to see why expectations are so low for a team that won 10 games with a first-year head coach a season ago.
Ryan, you took a crack at the projection of the defensive side of the depth chart for Tennessee before it gets released. I feel like just due to maybe some depth issues at a couple spots, you're going to be asking a few young guys to really go out there and kind of make their mark on Tennessee's defense. Who's a underclassman in this year's Tennessee defense that you feel most confident in kind of going out there and having the biggest impact?
Well, I think from a pure underclassman standpoint, I would tend to roll with sophomores, guys that have been there a year, and I think Edwin Spillman is a guy that's going to play a ton of snaps, and I don't know whether I would say he'll be starting by the end of the year, but I bet he is playing top 2 snaps at linebacker by the end of the year. One of Idris Farouk or Caleb Beasley is going to start at safety as a sophomore, so those are 2 underclassmen that are going to split time and play a ton of snaps. I think Jordan Ross could push for playing time, but if you're going to make me go specifically freshman, I think you look at defensive tackle just because of the opportunity there. Ethan Utley, I would say, is the one I had the most confidence in, but I think Isaiah Campbell's going to get opportunities as well. So those are 2 of the obvious freshmen. I look at linebacker. If they get a little banged up there, do they have to go to Jaden Harmon and Jaden Perlotti? Will those guys get opportunities? So it's a young defense and a lot of guys, especially the sophomores, that you just feel better about because they've been here a year. I think there's reasons to be pretty optimistic about some of the young talent on this team.
Ryan, one of the things that we were talking about a little bit earlier, and this kind of correlates over to the Joey Aguilar situation, him getting the start and managing expectations maybe. And that is, I brought up the analogy of what we saw last season against Oklahoma. Now, the situation was different in that Oklahoma had a defense that was bringing the heat from time to time. Nico turned the ball over a couple of times. But at the same time, by the end of the game, you look at the final score, I think it was a little misleading. I never was once in the second half concerned about Tennessee not being able to win that game. Do we feel that there's a possibility, just based on what you're seeing, and what you've seen over the years following Josh Heupel, that Joey gets out to a good start and Josh kind of sees the same type of situation of, okay, we're good here. And this might be to the chagrin of a lot of betting folk, but is it possible you could see Tennessee take the foot off the gas, so to speak? Or could it just be the other way around too? Because Sam was mentioning statistically, there's, some of these early games in the past, Josh has had no problem of putting points on the board. Which side would you go to on this one?
Yeah, I definitely see the vision you're laying out. I think makes sense. There's one thing that you said, Bob, that I would push back on in that scenario, which is Joey starts fast and Tennessee takes the foot off the gas. I don't see that being a world that really happens. I think Tennessee, Josh Heupel would like to be aggressive in this game, would like to, not play how he did in the Oklahoma game, not have to play conservatively. And if Joey starts fast, I don't think you're going to see him do that. If the offense and the passing game looks good, I think you're going to see them, maybe not necessarily running up the score, but I don't think they're going to go into a shell. To me, it's if the offense starts slow and the passing game doesn't look great and the offense lines maybe having some pass protection issues, or Joey turns the ball over a couple times and Tennessee finds itself up 13-7 at halftime in a game that you watch 30 minutes and you believe Tennessee is clearly the better team. That's the scenario where I think you could see Tennessee kind of take the air out of the ball and play really, really conservatively just to make sure they win the game. So, yeah, I could see that happening. It wouldn't be shocking to me. I don't think that's the mindset that Josh Heupel is going to go into this game with, and certainly Syracuse doesn't have the front seven that Oklahoma did last year, which should make look, Nico was strip sacked twice in the first half of that game. So you very much felt like if you tried to be aggressive passing, something really terrible could happen to get Oklahoma back in the game. I don't know if Syracuse has that same sort of firepower that's going to make you concerned about that. But certainly if Tennessee plays sloppy offensively in the first half, I could see them going into a little bit of a shell offensively and playing things pretty conservatively just to make sure they get a win.
I would guess that we're going to have enough oars on the initial depth chart release that we could row a boat down the Tennessee River. But as we stand here right now, Ryan, who do you maybe expect to see at the starting center position? I feel like that's been a battle that is continuing to be ongoing. Is it going to be a Sam Pendleton, or are you kind of maybe banking on one of your young guys that's been in the system for a while, and William Satterwhite?
Well, we'll see. I could be wrong on this. No one has told me this definitively, but as we sit here talking at 11:20, I'll head over to campus after we get off the phone. I do not expect them to put out any sort of depth chart today. I don't think we're going to have that until 90 minutes before kick in Atlanta on Saturday. Hopefully I'm wrong. I know Bob and the folks over at RTI would like the interest that a depth chart brings. I'm in that boat as well. But to your point of who do I think starts, because even if we do get a depth chart today, you're right. That will be an or at the center spot. I think it'll be Sam Pendleton. It'll start on Saturday against Syracuse, and William Satterwhite as his backup. I feel pretty confident about what the starting offensive line is going to look like. I would say my interest now, outside of just how they perform, and particularly what it looks like is going to be a really young right-sided offensive line that performs, is just how much do they rotate. I don't think you're going to see them rotate much at the tackle spots, but I think they do have an opportunity to rotate some at guard and center as well. So that's one that I'll be watching on Saturday and curious to see what exactly that looks like.
We're talking with Ryan Schumpert, Rocky Top Insider, previewing Tennessee-Syracuse. I'm going to pose a question to you that we just discussed before you joined us, because I think it's one that's interesting getting people's takes on it. And that is, we've obviously spent weeks at this point talking about specific players, and it's been like a handful that have kind of occupied our headspace at least. It's obviously Joey Aguilar, Boo Carter, Jermod McCoy's status, etc. What's a player that's kind of out of that wheelhouse in terms of the sports news cycle for volunteer football that you're most intrigued by in this game? Again, somebody we haven't really been talking about that much. Now, you cover the team, so you cover a lot of these guys with some level of specificity, but I hope you get the gist of it. Outside of the top 3 or 4 names, who's the one that's kind of like, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this player?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think one, and I don't know if this necessarily completely falls under the umbrella, but just David Sanders. I feel like he is certainly such a big name, but he's kind of been out of sight, out of mind. He's for sure starting right tackle. We haven't talked about him much. When you talk about the path to Tennessee's offensive line being improved this year, I think him being a solid player as a true freshman is a big part of that. So I'm curious to see what he looks like. I would say Colton Hood. I feel like that's, again, one that is just going to have to play a lot because of those injuries, and there's been a lot of buzz around him, and we haven't seen him in a Tennessee uniform, so I'm going to be curious to see what he looks like. And then this isn't just one player, but just the Leo spot as a whole. How do they look from a pass rush standpoint? Does it feel like, do we leave game one feeling like Josh Josephs has taken a step into not just being a solid starter who is good against the run, but not a great pass rusher? Do we feel like do we leave that game feeling like he's taken another step as a pass rusher? And then, just on that same position, do we feel like Jordan Ross or Caleb Herring has separated themselves or look like guys that can give Tennessee a little bit of juice off of that other edge in pass rushing situations? So that one's not necessarily specifically a player, but it's a spot that really hasn't been talked about much just because there is depth there and there is a proven starter. But I think will be a super important part to how Tennessee's defense fares.
You want to know who mine is?
Let's hear it.
Max Gilbert. No, I'm kidding.
Here's a good question. I'll flip it on to you guys. We were talking about this the other day. Who do we think Tennessee's special teams captain is going to be? Because it was Matthew Solinsky every single game last year. Who do y'all think the special teams captain is?
God,
that's a good question. I miss Solinsky now.
I don't know. I don't think I could even take a stab at
sneaky one. We like is Josh Turbeville.
Okay.
I
like it.
We think Josh Heupel likes Josh Turbeville a lot. And then Max Gilbert, obviously young. I don't know. Maybe Jackson Ross will be that too, but he doesn't necessarily give off. He's a much more lighthearted personality.
Who is taking over for Solinsky? Is it Bennett Brady?
Yes, okay. Bennett Brady is my understanding of who it'll be.
Our kicking games, we're in pretty good shape there, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Max Gilbert was good last year. You would, obviously had that kind of rough stretch in the middle of the season. You'd like to see a little bit more consistency, but I think he's got as good as a leg as anyone that Tennessee's had kicker in a while. And yeah, Ross is super proven. Tuberville's good on kickoffs. So, special teams should be in a solid spot, which, I think is something we rarely, if ever, talk about in the off season. But when you're in a lot of these games and when you maybe don't have a great offense, it can matter a lot.
Before you go, Ryan, we got to get your thoughts on Tommy Fleetwood finally cracking through for that first win. I thought it was never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to 2 weeks ago in Memphis, it all the more felt like it was never going to happen. So it's just hard not to be excited for him. I mean, he's such a likable dude, and I think more than anything, when you talk about this conversation with him, he has stood there time and time again and talked to the media and answered the questions when he's come short and faced the music. And I think and done it with incredible class and the way that you expect or want someone to, but it is not easy to do in those situations. So I think that makes it or at least for myself, speaking for myself, makes it all the more happy for him, and just someone that really deserved it. So super cool. And yeah, I mean, I said it in my tweet yesterday, but already not looking forward to what a menace he's going to be at Bethpage here next month.
I was telling Sam, I couldn't help but I turned it on, and there was still like 3 holes to play, maybe 4. And at that moment, Scotty was just 2 strokes down, and I couldn't help but think, oh no, here we go, man. Just the way Scheffler's been playing, but hats off to Tommy for just holding him off, man. That was awesome. I can't imagine anybody felt bad about that yesterday.
I think our only hope is that Fleetwood's still like drunk from the celebration for the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that might be our best shot.
He also had so much patience. I couldn't stand Cantley.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I just
hit
want
the
him
ball,
off the Ryder
dude.
Cup team so I don't have to watch it.
I can't. They're like 2 holes behind.
Yeah, it's funny. I went to the Tour Championship on Saturday 2 years ago, and I can't remember what hole it was on the back, maybe 13. And I was standing off to the side in the fairway, and Cantley hit one like right at us, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. We're going to get," because the tree was kind of blocking him off. I'm like, "I'm going to get the full Patrick Cantley experience of how long it takes him to hit this shot." And he'd come to the ball, and he was starting to walk all the way, 160 yards up to the green.
Gosh.
And then the horn blew for a weather delay, so we didn't get to see the entire thing.
He's
blessing in disguise, right? I was
gonna say he's longer. His lead up's longer than a weather delay. Honestly,
No kidding. He could have just kept on scouting out the next shot, and it probably would have lasted about as long.
There you go. Hey, Ryan, as always, man, appreciate you hopping on, giving us some time. I know it's about to get hectic for you. You follow this guy at rshump00. All his work's over at Rocky Top Insider as well. Ryan, really appreciate you hopping on, as always, getting to talk about a lot of things. And I can't wait to hear what you and Sylvia are doing next competitively.
Sounds great. We'll make sure to keep you all posted.
See you, Ryan.
See you, man.
See you guys.
All right. Let's get a break. When we return, we got to talk about week 0.
Dublin.
Some stuff happened. That field looked sloppy in Dublin. But we'll break it down for you, including, I think there was another takeaway. I think there's a team to keep an eye on that we thought might be okay. They proved they're going to be okay, I think. And they're in the Big 12. We'll talk about all that when we return. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad, and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service, 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit MatlockTireService.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Next week is your last chance to see your Knoxville Smokies in action this season.
No way.
Join us for our final all-you-can-eat Wednesday. Less than $30 gets you into the game and all the food your stomach can handle. We also have Thirsty Thursday with half-off draft beers, fireworks Friday and Saturday nights, and Fan Appreciation Day on Sunday with free prizes given out during the game. It's your last chance, so get those tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area, from Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive. Even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's Nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit men'spro-knoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
Zero. The good news, college football is back, but some of it wasn't necessarily pretty, but it was good to have it back nonetheless. It all started with a much anticipated matchup in Dublin, Ireland, Farmageddon. Two ranked teams, Iowa State against Kansas State. Iowa State wins at 24-21 in a sloppy game that went down to the wire. Lots of rain, Sam. Turf was a mess. That first half was rough. It was a hard watch, but it felt like things picked up in the second half.
Beautiful. It was beautiful, Bob.
4 turnovers in the first half.
That's what you want out of your start of college football, I think. You know, I mean, it's you get back into the nitty-gritty of things. Fumbles to start off, muffed punts. What else could you ask for? A football field with no lines on it. Yeah. That might be what I would ask for personally.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were using like water-based paint or something like that, just watercolor on the field. But whatever Irish paint we got over there, it ain't working. Let's import some American paint next time we go overseas. Let's make sure that gets on the truck, or I guess I should say the cargo plane.
Chris Kleiman was interviewed briefly at halftime, and he did the whole, the field's a thing, but let's not kid ourselves. These are two really good defensive teams too, and it's like, yeah, maybe, but I'm not sure that's what contributed to a lot of the messy play in that first half. But
they were asking for the lines to get repainted at halftime, apparently.
Yeah. Hey, the fourth quarter was kind of fun, though. Combined, those two teams scored more than they both scored over 3 quarters of that game. Who'd you think won? I'd say statistically, Avery Johnson wins the battle of the quarterbacks between him and Rocco Becht. But did you feel like he looked better than Rocco Becht?
Yeah, I'd almost take Rocco Becht, honestly. I mean,
yeah.
I know numbers-wise it looked pretty solid for Avery Johnson, but I don't think long-term it's going to be a smart decision for Kansas State to just kind of – I thought they took Avery Johnson's legs basically out of the game, and that was just something that was really surprising to me given the weather. It wasn't looking like the easiest game to be passing the ball downfield all that much in. Avery Johnson, a great dual-threat quarterback, a guy that – I feel like that K-State offense is working at its best whenever you're kind of using his legs to your advantage, and then kind of, working that into some of the offense, play action passing, whatever it may be. But statistically, I feel like Avery Johnson came out looking better. But I do think just when it comes to winning football, I feel like Rocco Becht was making the right plays at the right times and coming up with some clutch throws, and that running back for them, Carson Hansen, came up with some really big runs at times as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnson, he had a 168 QBR, but that's when I sometimes think this stuff's misleading, right? I just felt like you're right about I didn't see him do much running the ball. I think it hurt him losing Dylan Edwards so early. There was a lot of expectation for this kid. They were talking him up before the game about how he looks like Darren Sproles 2.0 and all these other things, and losing him, I'm sure, was a bit of a body blow, but still, and it was weird with Becht because Becht felt like K-State's defensive line was in the backfield. They were in his stuff all the time. His numbers were not that great, but he still threw for 2 TDs, ran for 1, lost a fumble, sacked 4 times, but I'm like you. I think I would have wanted to ride with Rocco Becht instead of Avery Johnson after watching that game.
Mm-hmm.
Just felt like they just made some great calls. And after a slow start, again, I did a live bet on the under early in the game. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. And then I ended up cashing out that bet, so I only lost a few bucks, but because then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter everything went nuts and they combined for nearly 700 yards total offense. So what looked like a slow, pretty painful game at the beginning got better as time went on. What do you think of Campbell's call late in the game on 4th down? They could have kicked a field goal, gone up 6.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they decided, let's just go for the kill shot, try to milk the clock.
I like the kill shot mentality.
I think so too.
I think you got to go out there and kind of just lay it all out on the table there, and go out there and say, hey, I got trust in my guys. Let's go ahead and win the ball game. And then, Hansen just kind of a stud.
He is. Felt bad for him. He was so close to that touchdown.
I know. He just, I don't know, something about Iowa State having just some gritty white running back just feels like just old school football.
Yeah.
So maybe it was the setting of the game too, just gray and misty, and the field was in terrible condition. You felt like you were watching some old school football movie or something like that.
I agree. Yeah, I was happy with the outcome of that game. I feel a lot of people had K-State in the bag on this one, and
yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why. I kind of liked Iowa State, but I also like the under, and we saw what happened there. And then what the hell? This post-game fight with the Johnson family. It's like, that to me was like, that's just couldn't get any weirder than that.
Bringing, a slice of American football over to Ireland. That's what you want. There's always a fight somewhere in a football stadium.
Yes, that's true.
It's never maybe it's not between a family member of a player, but hey.
They went and quickly apologized yesterday. It was wild.
They put out a little. I didn't see the formal apology.
They did. They apologized to the fans, to the university. Said they had a misunderstanding. Just got a little out of control. It's like, I'd say so. Although I used to have a buddy. I've lost track of it. He used to play football at Marshall. And he's from West Virginia, and he would tell us stories about he and his dad would just get into fist fights. And it was not out of anger.
Just passion.
They would just, out in the backyard, they just...
little sparring match.
It's weird to me, at least.
Get some quick cardio in.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was never like... It was almost like... Yeah, and then they'd finally call it and be like, all right, man, let's go get a beer.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in college football, team I mentioned earlier, Kansas, they usher in their new stadium, which on TV looked phenomenal. All the reviews on social media that for people that were there said it was incredible. Great stadium. So they usher in the new stadium with a pretty decisive W. They take down Fresno State 31-7. We were saying in the break, Sam, I actually think if this version of Kansas can show up, they can be a factor in the Big 12. But you reminded me, part of it is Jalen Daniels looked great on Saturday, and we just don't know how long he'll be healthy.
Yeah, I said to you in the break that Jalen Daniels is one of the best quarterbacks in the country for like 4 weeks at a time in the year. You don't know what portion of the year it's going to be. We probably got one of our weeks, under our belt now. Does he get injured in a couple weeks and he's gone for 3 at a time, and then he comes back and lights the world on fire, but the season's already out of hand for Kansas or something like that? I would love for him to stay healthy because I love me some Jalen Daniels. I love me, what Kansas has got going over there. Love that new stadium that they were playing in. Looked sharp. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can say from this game. Let's go Lance Leipold. Let's go Kansas. I'm with you. Let's make some noise in the Big 12.
18 of 20, 179 yards, 3 touchdown passes.
Just efficient.
47 yards rushing. He had a QBR of 213. Here's the other thing, too. And again, it's Fresno. Okay, I get it. But they doubled up Fresno in total yards, and the Jayhawks also held Fresno to 37 yards rushing on 29 carries. So that's a good start for Lance and the boys. We'll see. Like you said, it'll all boil down to how long can Daniels stay on the field. UNLV, a team that there's a lot of hype surrounding. They were in the playoff conversation last season. Their coach moved on to Purdue. They replace him with Dan Mullen. Vibes are high. People think they're just going to continue on. Some people have them as a dark horse playoff contender again this season. Sam, they nearly get upset in week 0 by an FCS team. They were 30.5-point favorites. But Idaho State led at halftime and still led at one point in the early fourth quarter.
Big mistake by Dan Mullen to let Alex Orji have any sort of time at the starting quarterback position because he was not so good for them. They immediately they inserted Anthony Calandria in there. He was dropping some dimes, had a couple really nice passes, but yeah, the defense for UNLV was just letting Idaho State run up and down the field. Their quarterback was not afraid to throw it 50 attempts, threw 3 picks, but was definitely was not scared to go out there and sling it. They had this one kid who was like a 6'6" receiver, Shulikov. He was pretty nice. I liked watching him play, but yeah, this was just an ugly slop fest for UNLV. Not one that gives you a whole lot of confidence if you're a fan of them. Idaho State with an all-time bonehead move at the very end. Were you watching that when they choose to go for it on 4th and 22?
No, I didn't see that.
They had the ball, 4th and 22, 3 minutes and 12 seconds left in the ball game with all 3 of their timeouts, and they choose to go for it on 4th and 22 instead of punt at the UNLV 44 too. So they could have punted, put them deep into their own territory. 3 minutes, 3 timeouts, try and force a quick 3 and out, get the ball back at about the same position probably, but no, they think they can get 22 yards a little bit better than having 3 timeouts in the back pocket with 3 minutes. Didn't understand that decision at all.
No. If you were a better, they crushed the total. 69 points in this one, 38-31 was the final. Nearly 1,100 yards of total offense. Kind of expected that, to be honest, at least the yards and everything. But what can't be ignored is that UNLV struggled against an FCS opponent. So maybe temper the expectations on UNLV a little bit. The nightcap. This game was, in a word, wild. Stanford, I think, here's the thing with Stanford. I mean, feels like they have problems at quarterback for sure. Their quarterback, Ben Gulbranson, had a costly fourth quarter early interception on a first down where it felt like they might be in control. Hawaii's quarterback, got nothing to worry about with that guy if he can stay healthy. That guy's a gamer, man. He was he was limping around for the last
off the field every single time they'd get off.
Yeah, I mean,
some coach would go meet him like 10 yards onto the field and take his hand.
Brutal ankle injury, and he played through it. But Sam, this was, well, first of all, there's a couple of things. Frank Reich let Hawaii kind of milk that clock down, didn't call any timeouts. Hawaii's walk-off game-winning field goal comes from a Japanese kicker that learned how to kick field goals on YouTube.
Dog. One of my champions of the weekend.
Love it. I love it. And one last one. Western Kentucky, Sam Houston. How about Maverick McIver?
Good name.
Love the name.
Good name.
Transfer from Abilene Christian for the Hilltoppers. 43 of 51, passing 401 yards. It always feels like Western's got some guy slinging it like this.
Yeah, Western's always going to go out there and push the ball down the field. They're a fun watch. This was a good Conference USA game. Kind of got away from Sam Houston there, but 2 of the better teams in the conference. Kind of weird that you're just getting a very influential Conference USA game in the first week of the season.
I know.
Like that one actually will probably have some weight in terms of kind of where guys end up at in the final season's standings. But Sam Houston going to try and scratch and claw their way up to the top still.
Yeah. 10 different Hilltoppers caught passes from Top Gun Maverick.
That first touchdown catch too was a unbelievable catch.
Yeah.
Unbelievable catch.
The thing I remember about Western Kentucky was, I think it was when they were playing Tennessee. It was the first time I'd ever seen a team, not even Oregon, rocking like a chrome helmet.
The chrome dome.
Loved it. Western's kind of a sneaky, fun team to keep an eye on each year. Now we got Maverick McIver to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Love it. So that was week 0. There were some other FCS games, but those were the ones that matter. And again, just kind of a little appetizer as we get ready for the main course this week. All in all, not bad. Just happy football's back, man. Happy it's back. Let's hit a break. When we return, we'll wrap up hour 1. We talked a little bit about it with Schump. We'll take a few minutes and talk about the Tommy Fleetwood experience, how he won his first major championship yesterday. Not a major, but still $10 million is a pretty nice landing spot. But also, what does it mean? Because there were some U.S. golfers there finishing out that were in the running for sure. And what's it mean in terms of the composition of that Ryder Cup team for the U.S.? There's some thoughts on how that's going to look now. So we'll talk about that too. All that and more when we return. Stick around. It's under review, and you're listening to Fan Run Radio.
Streaming worldwide at fanrunradio.com and on the free Fan Run app. This is Big Orange Country's sports talk radio superstation, Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your home exterior needs. If your home needs new siding, windows, doors, gutters, handrails, a deck, or a new roof, then give my friends at North Knox Siding and Windows a call at 865-689-0505. You can also visit their showroom at 5618 North Broadway. Locally owned and operated and proudly serving all of Knoxville and the surrounding areas, North Knox Siding and Windows. Online at northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves salvage Game 3 against the Mets. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network morning update.
Get clean car happy all season long at Tidal Wave with exclusive membership discounts, giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com/Braves for more information.
The Braves topped the Mets to avoid the sweep on a beautiful Sunday afternoon at Truist Park. 4-3 your final, and Jurickson Profar was your hero. 2 for 4, including a 2-run single in the bottom of the 8th that proved to be the game winner. Raisel Iglesias would close it out, his 22nd save of the season and 9th during the month of August. Sean Murphy also picked up 2 hits that broke an 0 for 24 stretch for the Braves catcher. 9-game road trip starting tonight in Miami. Spencer Strider on the hill. He's 5-11, has a 5.24 ERA, 102 strikeouts, 36 walks, a 143 whip, and a 276 opponent batting average. Right-hander Edward Cabrera going for the fish. He's 6-7, has a 2.52 ERA, 126 strikeouts, 39 walks, a 122 whip, and a 2.36 opponent batting average. For leadoff show on the Braves Radio Network at 5:25. First pitch against the Fish, 6:40 Eastern Time from Lone Depot Park, and you can hear it on the Braves Radio Network.
Citizens National Bank.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the C&B Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at C&B has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Yo, 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 what is up with it, homies? Talk sports. That's the show you want. It's the longest running sports radio morning show in town. You want your radio shows to be fun, and that's what Talk Sports is. Fun, fun, fun. No weirdo callers. I think Tennessee's going to go 6-6 this year. No nerdy guests. Well, their receiver depth is a little bit thin. Just 2 of the most entertaining guys in town, and Bubba giving you what you need. Tune in 7 to 10 a.m. every weekday here on Fan Run Radio.
Let's take a few moments and enjoy what we saw yesterday when one of our favorite lads when it comes to the game of golf, Tommy Fleetwood. He's let a few get away recently. He didn't let this one get away, and it was a big one. He wins the PGA Tour Championship FedEx match in Atlanta. He was leading this one, Sam, for a fair amount of time and never really surrendered that lead. It got tied up, I think, at one point. I think it was with Patrick Cantlay, but he just persevered, man, and held it off, won by a couple strokes. Pretty impressive run for Tommy, and he cleans up with a $10 million purse.
Elite putting performance from Tommy Fleetwood this week here at the FedEx Cup Championship. I saw that he went just nuclear on the green. 67 of 75 on putts inside 15 feet this week.
That's great.
8.1 strokes gained putting, more than double any other player in the field.
Love it. Yeah, he was tied going into the last round, right, with Cantlay for the lead.
Just had a mission in mind, and was going to go out there and get it. Hell of a win for Tommy.
And like we said, I mean, Scotty was still in the mix late. As a matter of fact, you could feel like the announcers were starting to. It's the one thing I don't like sometimes is when you have somebody that's like at that star level, I get it, but I don't need the announcers to start to assume, they were doing the whole Scheffler's teeing off here and he's about to put a significant dent into Fleetwood's lead, and then he doesn't, it's just like, just don't add pressure. Not that Tommy's listening,
right.
But still, it was like, I don't know. Sometimes that gets on my nerves. There's a lot of great golfers out there, and Scotty, we're all thinking the same thing. We don't need it repeated to us. Who's had a good season this? Well, there's a couple guys, obviously. Russell Henley's had a really good year. He finished tied for second with Cantlay. I just noticed, I didn't realize Corey Connors was right there in fourth. He's had a good year.
I feel like he's always up there.
Yeah.
He's 62 yesterday will help.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
That's got to be a great tournament to just be like firing a low number in, just knowing like, yep, 62 today. Some weeks of the year that's just kind of inconsequential, but $40 million purse, so 62 on a Sunday is going to, change your payday pretty drastically there.
Yeah, and they already get a bonus or incentive for making the tour championship.
Right.
So it was just
adding it on.
Yeah, what did I see? I think that Cam Young, Scheffler, and Connors, they all tied for fourth. I think they all got like almost 2.2 million. I mean, that's a hell of a purse, man. That's
the thing I like about Fleetwood yesterday is like when he got in trouble, he didn't try and overdo it. Like he would punch out, or like I think on 8, the drivable one, he hit it like into the grandstand, but he like instead of going for the green, he just chipped out to where he could make it like a 30-yard chip shot, and he made par on the hole, but it
never let him.
And
he
was
himself.
Behind a tree at one point. Like he was just, and he tried. And again, that goes back to saying the putting. He was just confident. Like he felt like he'd make a crucial par putt, and that's the difference almost yesterday. Even when Cantlay like tied it, I think at one point.
I didn't get to see his interview afterwards. I'm sure
that was great. Yeah,
was he so just gracious as always?
Yeah, I mean, just sounded the exact same like he would after losing a tournament as he does winning it.
Yeah.
I think
Does
that
he have
does
he have a fan? Like, does he have a kid or does?
Oh
he
yeah.
have, like I didn't see him yesterday. Like at the
they're
tournament.
all in England.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you're about to win $40 million.
His adult stepson was there with him, which
that's
I
what
kind of thought was awesome.
Yeah, he was the one that was so emotional. Like
But
Tommy
then-
was almost confronting.
Yeah,
him.
his whole family, I think, was.
Oh yeah, because his
across
kid
the
was at the
barn.
Masters. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. I don't know why.
He's got the
Just
little
trying to be hottest.
the little clone that was
Yeah.
at Augusta.
I couldn't stop saying that yesterday.
All
Have
the
you seen
children.
that video of his son
Yeah.
after trying to get it over the? I'm just trying to be hottest.
He's just he's kind of another version of Scheffler in that he's just kind of a flatliner, right? He just doesn't show too much. He just powers through. I'm just struck mostly by a lot of other golfers, a lot of other athletes where you've had the chance to win something and then you don't, and you let it slip away like he has done a couple of times. A lot of times they fade into oblivion, and he just kept showing up. I mean, that's how we were this weekend going, oh no, that's when he was up there near the top. It's like, that poor bastard. Here we go again, but he did it. So good for him, man. I think it's awesome. Very quickly, do you think in terms of, again, some of these guys that are U.S. guys finished really well in this, whether it's Cam Young, Sam Burns, some of the others, do you think that impacts, there's only so many seats on that Ryder Cup team. Any thoughts on that in terms of what they're going to do? Because obviously Scotty, Bryson, Xander, Henley, those guys, they're all in. But after that, man, it just feels like it's a lot of good guys, but there's only a limited number of spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope some of those guys get in. I'd love to see Cam Young being a hometown guy, be being able to get that opportunity. He's playing some good golf right now. Keegan Bradley said, they asked him about his captain's picks. He said there's probably going to be a few guys that think they're going to be on the team that aren't going to be. So I don't think Keegan Bradley's going to just, take his buddies and, pull a Zach Johnson here and stuff like that. I hope he doesn't pull a act of domestic terrorism and put Colin Morikawa on this Ryder Cup team.
I was going to say that's one of the ones that I think is like people would assume maybe he's going to be there, but the season he's had has been so up and down. I don't think he should be there.
He sucks right now.
Not ahead of some of these other guys. Not even ahead of like Ben Griffin. Not ahead of
Griffin's won twice this year.
Yeah.
He's got to be on that team.
Yeah, not ahead of Sam Burns. Not ahead of Cam Young. I mean,
and Burns, you think can be on it just for the Scotty Burns combination, but then Henley played with Scotty a bunch in President's Cup too. But
yeah,
you think of pairings too, like who plays well together, and does Keegan pick himself?
Yeah,
that's a big question
I
too.
hope so. I really hope so.
And Spawn's got to be on there too, of course. I mean,
he's an auto qualifier.
Yeah, I was going to say some of these guys are in. So,
I need Sam Burns putter at the Ryder Cup too.
He played well yesterday. He played, yeah.
As we wrap up the hour, if you had to choose, who would you want between Cantlay and Morikawa if it comes down to those two?
I'll take Cantlay, honestly.
Gosh,
he's playing better.
I'd rather wait on Patrick Cantlay than let Colin Morikawa lose me a Ryder Cup on my home turf.
I'd do the same. I'd say take the guy.
Cantlay just doesn't seem like a good guy.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think he's the one. I think that's exactly who Keegan's talking about when he made that comment.
Maybe.
I think he witnessed it this weekend. He even whispered something to Henley after the round.
Yeah.
Cantlay's a good Ryder Cup player too. He's 5-2-1 in his two.
He's not been good the last 3 years though. He hasn't. That was the first time he was in contention in like 2.
Yeah.
Good time to do it.
Man, I don't know.
All right, that wraps up hour 2 of the show. Let's take a quick break. When we return, got midday headlines, got Russell Smith joining us. Still got a lot to cover. We'll get to it on the other side. Stick around. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Hey, Pack Rat. Yeah, you. Are you moving cross country and you just don't know who to call? Call us right now. Listen, you've probably seen one of our containers in your neighborhood, but did you know that we can help you move anywhere in the United States? It's real simple. We'll drop a container off at the location you tell us to bring it to. You pack up your valuable possessions at your leisure. They stay safe right in your home. And when you're ready, call us. We'll come and pick up the container and give you a scheduled date of when your furniture and the other possessions will be at your new home. So if you're moving across country or across town, be a Pack Rat. Join the Pack Rat family. Call Pack Rat right now for your free quote. See y'all later, Pack Rats.
Call 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298.
800-965-1298. That's 800-965-1298.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hour 3 of Under Review starts now.
Monday, game week. We are moving right along. Days are going to fly by now, people. It's actually happening. Makes me smile. Let us know what's on your mind. You can be a part of the show by chiming in. You can call or text us at area code 865-966-3435. That's 966-3435. You can also communicate with us on X at Fox Sports Knox or on the live chat over at Fan Run TV on YouTube. Quick note, if you aren't going to Atlanta for the season opener against Syracuse and maybe you're looking for a place, you don't want to just sit at home by yourself and watch the game with the Vols and the orange, the other orange, why don't you join us? The Fan Run crew will be at Barley's for a watch party for the Syracuse game. Of course, we know about Barley's by now in the Old City. Great food, wide selection of adult beverages, TVs everywhere. Where else would you rather be on an opening day for college football? Great place. They have, by the way, during the week, they have things going on too. General team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Sports only trivia on Thursdays at 7. And you could hang out with the Fan Run crew on Saturday. Cheer the Vols on to a massive win. They're going to score 70 points, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I've changed my whole tune. All gas, no brakes. It's happening. So keep it in mind. That'd be a fair option. Come see us. All of us will be down there. The Syracuse watch party at Barley's on Saturday. Be there. Time for some midday headlines. Other things happening elsewhere in the world of sports. And for that, I turn things over to Sam Beard.
Big NFL contract news just a few minutes ago as the Washington Commanders and wide receiver Terry McLaurin have officially reached an agreement on a 3-year contract extension worth up to $96 million that will end his hold in just in time for their regular season opener against the Giants. Buddy Baker and Tony Bonagura, his agents, told Adam Schefter of the deal, $30 million signing bonus in the deal as well. They have been ongoing with these contract talks pretty much all offseason, coming off of second Pro Bowl appearance, 5 1,000-yard seasons in a row. I think a lot of people around the league were expecting this to be an extension that went final pretty quick, but it turned out that it went all the way, into OTAs, mini camp, all that type of stuff, all throughout training camp. He holds in training camp, so now you finally got your wide receiver one happy. You got your guy for Jaden Daniels, his favorite target. Now you got to hope that they can continue to build that chemistry. We'll see if there's any maybe early season growing pains as you don't have the some of the training camp stuff and the chemistry kind of together with McLaurin and Daniels. But you got his guy, top wide receiver, average salaries now. He comes in at $32 million per year. That would be tied with A.J. Brown. The only guys higher than him, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase in that order.
Good for Terry.
Good for Terry.
Love it. Just in time for our fantasy draft.
I am relieved as a Terry McLaurin dynasty owner.
There you go.
That was going to be tough. A little bit of, we'll stay in the NFL here, I guess. Some quarterback news. Minnesota Vikings are signing Carson Wentz after they agreed to trade their backup Sam Howell to the Philadelphia Eagles. So Sam Howell's been on the move a couple times here now. Philadelphia is going to send a 2026 fifth-round selection and a seventh-round pick in the 2027 draft to Minnesota in exchange for a 2026 sixth-round pick and Sam Howell. So Sam Howell finds himself a new landing spot after a cup of coffee over there, I guess, with the Vikings. They feel good about Max Brosmer over there. Carson Wentz has been a free agent after spending last season with the Chiefs, now set to be J.J. McCarthy's backup, 32 years old. I feel like Carson Wentz should be older than 32 with how long we've been hearing about him, but second overall pick in the 2016 draft to the Eagles. Seahawks already traded Sam Howell. Now the Vikings trade him. We'll see if he can maybe find a little bit more of a permanent landing spot there with the Eagles. Taron McKee, who is the Eagles' backup, dealing with a fractured thumb, apparently. So not the biggest deal in the world, but I would imagine maybe that's why you went out and you got Sam Howell as a little bit of an insurance policy. Still a young guy you can kind of go build up, but Tanner McKee probably out for a couple weeks. We'll see if he will be ready for their season opener, but Jalen Hurts' job anyway.
I had not seen the Tanner McKee news because that was the only thing that left me scratching my head. I was like, why did they make this trade? But now it makes sense.
Yeah. A little bit of quarterback news in college football. Two things that I feel like, already were kind of set in stone, but just making it official now. Kentucky naming seventh year. Yes, I said that. Seventh year senior Zach Calzada, their starting quarterback. Previously played at Texas A&M, Auburn, and Incarnate Word. We'll take a stab at it with Kentucky now this year. I would expect him to be the worst quarterback in the conference. I would expect Kentucky to be pretty bad. Honestly, for as bad as Kentucky is, I'm a little bit surprised that they went with I know that you went out and you got Calzada in the portal, but like Cutter Boley, that little freshman that they had last year, if you remember when he came in, I feel like for as bad as Kentucky is, you might as well like try and see what you got in one of your young quarterbacks instead of going out there and trying to survive with 7-year transfer Zach Calzada, who's going to suck. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. Let's just whatever can keep them like suppressed and winning
Just
3 games.
Nobody talking about him. Yeah, it's good enough with me.
That'll work.
Michigan finally names Bryce Underwood their starting quarterback too. I don't know why that's taken them so long. I think they want to have a headline here on game week of action for everyone.
Tell me if you've heard.
He just could have been named starter as soon as he committed.
Right. Tell me if you've heard this though, because I saw this headline yesterday when it came out, and they called him 5-star plus prospect. Bryce Underwood. Is there such a thing?
Sure. I don't know what a 5-star plus is.
I've never seen that. I was like, maybe I'm out of the loop.
Is that just like elite guy?
I guess. And it wasn't a Michigan guy saying it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a Michigan publication or anything.
Google AI is telling me a 5-star plus is somebody that is a 5-star across the board on like every recruiting service. So I guess that would make sense.
Okay.
Consensus guy across, Rivals.
How about just consensus 5-star?
That's what I would go with, Bob.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh making some history here, sets MLB single season record for home runs by a catcher. It's 2 yesterday to hit 49 home runs in a single season, passing Salvador Perez in his 2021 season. Big Dumper hasn't been having a great statistical go at it, ever since the All-Star break, but continuing to jack home runs all across the yard. Has compiled a 7.3 WAR so far this season, which is still tied for the lead there with the highest total in the majors with Aaron Judge of the Yankees. So 2 guys that are favorites for that AL MVP, but some of his statistics have kind of fell off since the All-Star break. I do wonder if that campaign is as strong as it was kind of before the All-Star break, because he had a compelling argument before the All-Star break for sure.
Yeah.
North Carolina, Chapel Bill, Jordan, they all get what they want in the end. Hard Knocks fell through. Hulu said, not so fast, my friend. They will be taking on another docuseries this fall. The football program announced yesterday. Hulu will be taking care of this one. Coach Belichick said it's going to feature the players working hard, which you guys do. It's about the players improving and getting better through their hard work, which you do. And the program starting from where it started from 7 months ago to wherever it's going to go through the course of the season, which of course will be determined on the field. It'll show our commitment to winning. It'll show our commitment to our team, and that's our priority. Congratulations to Jordan for getting someone else to take this one on. Think she's got some friends over there at Hulu or something.
Well, here.
I mean, she stepped in with HBO.
Let's maybe dig a little deeper. Hulu's owned by Disney. Disney owns ESPN. ESPN is televising a boatload of the North Carolina games. Feels like a little bit of a consolation prize. It's not Hard Knocks, but they got their documentary distributed. But I still can't help but think some of it was the ESPN tie. And maybe ESPN was like, we can't just immediately go and get in bed with Bill Belichick just yet. Let's put it on Hulu.
Why not? Let's put it on Hulu.
She got her way, man.
She always does. She always does. This was some fun media news. Mentioned this one to you earlier in the show, Bob, but former SportsCenter anchors Stan Verrett and Neil Everett starting their own live sports show on Twitch. So it will air Tuesdays and Fridays starting September 9th. I'm interested in this one, though. Stan Verrett and Neil Everett, 2 of my favorite SportsCenter anchors of my childhood. 2 guys that I always could associate positive memories with me getting home from school or before school or something like that and sitting 2 feet in front of the TV and just watching SportsCenter highlights play.
Yeah.
And watching those guys go at it. They feel like they've always had a great connection together, some good chemistry. Twitch is an interesting landing spot for it, but I feel like maybe that's kind of their modern approach to it. Like, hey, we're going to get off of the TV networks and stuff like that and see if maybe we can just capture an audience of some younger people that are a little bit more familiar with the Twitch stuff. Foreign to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm still a young person, so it's just not really my forte, though.
No, there's some, my whole thing on Twitch, my daughter's into that. And I mean, as a matter of fact, I think Fan Run TV is going to be transmitted on Twitch maybe already. I think that's a new kind of frontier. It's been mostly where people go to watch gamers game for the most part. That's what my daughter does. But there's a few shows happening there, and it's an easy platform to just get in there and start doing it for cheap. That's what those guys are doing.
Yeah.
So in this day and age, man, why not? If they can afford to pull it off and try it, see what happens. But I saw that too. I didn't realize that's where they were going, was to Twitch. So
recruiting news over the weekend, 5-star interior offensive lineman Darius Gray does not pick Tennessee, commits to South Carolina. In-state guy for him. commits to the Gamecocks over Tennessee, LSU, Clemson, and Ohio State. That number one interior offensive lineman in that 2026 class. I don't think Tennessee was necessarily ever expected to get him, but would have been nice to have, obviously. Continue to build those trenches, get a guy that's got elite upside on the interior of that offensive line. But I would imagine was probably asking for a pretty penny, and with the guys that you've already got committed, you're probably committing some pretty solid money to them. You still want to get Tristan Keys into the building as well. I think this was one that maybe this is like a fantasy league for an auction or something like that. You know, the price just got a little bit too high for him.
Yeah.
Lastly, Field of Dreams game 2026. We are going to get the Philadelphia Phillies playing the Minnesota Twins as MLB baseball will return to Dyersville, Iowa for the third Field of Dreams game. I'm excited that we got the Field of Dreams game back. I'm out on like the race car track stuff that we did this year, but I'm good with Field of Dreams. It's fun. I feel like it bridges the gap between generations of baseball fans. Obviously, as you've got the movie that so many people love that maybe some younger kids these days don't really have on kind of the forefront of their mind, but maybe they watch the Field of Dreams game and they'll go watch the movie Field of Dreams. I mean, you can't write a better script any better than that. Build it and they will come.
So that's definitely why they didn't do it this year, was because they focused the effort on NASCAR, you think, on the NASCAR venue?
I think that they were I believe that the site of the field was kind of going through some new ownership. And so they were putting on, because I'm pretty sure they're building like a facility for youth baseball events to happen.
Gotcha.
And so I think that they were kind of doing the construction on all of those. So that's why they did the game at the Rickwood Field in Birmingham, and then they did the Bristol game this past year. But yeah, I think ideally the MLB would like to keep it at the Field of Dreams game. At least maybe that's just me speaking for the league.
It's kind of cool for Twins fans because it's not that far, I wouldn't think, geographically from Iowa.
Yeah.
So you got a chance to
go.
I think that'd be a cool event to go be in person at.
Did we mention the South Carolina jersey, the deal with Nike last week?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was weird they brought out the numbers, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Makes our deal
look pretty good.
Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get why South Carolina. Why wouldn't you just stay where you are at that point?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine that deal was that bad with Under Armour. But who knows?
Maybe they can trick some people into thinking that.
Yeah. Maybe.
All right. That's about it for me.
There you go, Sam. Good batch of headlines. Let's take a break. When we return, Russell Smith from The Drive will join the show. We're going to take a little detour off of Believe It, Don't Believe It, because I want to carry on this topic, get his take on which Tennessee football player is on his mind that's not named Boo Carter, Joey Aguilar, Jermod McCoy, as we head into this game against Syracuse. We'll talk about that, and I'm sure other things too. So stick around. We'll be right back. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court-martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Look out, East Tennessee. It's The Chase. Right here on Fan Run Radio and Fox Sports Knoxville. Join me, Tennessee sports renaissance man, Chase Thomas, and the biggest rising stars in Tennessee sports media like Ryan Schumpert, Ethan Stone, Brian Sylvia, Caleb Jarreau, William Pattison, and so many more folks every weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. on WKGN's newest show, where we talk all things Tennessee Vols and always take your calls.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you can donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-639-8620. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It'll be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car. And as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. Call 1-800-639-8620. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-639-8620. That's 1-800-639-8620.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Go Vols 247. I'm not sharing something I shouldn't because he shared it last night on X. Many of you may have seen it. He announced that he's going to be taking a little break during football season, covering the Vols because he has been diagnosed with a very treatable cancer that they're already on top of, and he feels really positive. And I just wanted to let Ben know. Again, guy's a total pro. He and I go way back before this show. He used to be part of the team at Rocky Top Insider. Just a good human being. Guy's a man of faith, has a lot of positivity, as much as you can in a situation like this when you're diagnosed with cancer. But he's going to fight, and we're fighting with him. We're going to, send as many positive vibes as we can and keep him in our thoughts and prayers. And we'll likely be talking to him again somewhere down the road. But just wanted to get that out there and let Ben know we love him and we're thinking about him.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Prayers up for you, Ben.
Definitely so. And I thought it was a cool touch that Josh Heupel opened his press conference today by doing the same.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That says all you need to know about Ben. Everybody's a fan of Ben McKee, and we certainly are. All right, let's get back to the business of sports. We've been talking Tennessee football heading into this big game against Syracuse, opening up the season. We usually do believe it, don't believe it with this guy. Today, we're going to take a little bit of a diversion and kind of continue to focus on a topic we've been discussing in the show. We're fortunate to have him around. That sounds crazy. He is the host of The Drive, so he is most definitely around, and we're happy to have him on the show today. It's Russell Smith, local media icon. Russell, how are you, man?
Doing good, boys. We finally made it. College football season is here. The air smells a little bit fresher. The beer is a little bit colder. Not that I've had any yet today. And life is just a little bit better.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Russ.
But it is, Sam.
I was going to say, when you said the air smells a little better, it's like maybe just, did you shower? Is it just
those 60-degree mornings? It tastes better.
It does.
Feels better.
It does. I shouldn't make fun. I actually was out with the dog this morning at 6:45, and I was like, I can get used to this. I don't like getting up that early, but God, it felt good, man. This week's forecast too. What a tease, Russ.
Yeah, maybe pack a hoodie if you're headed down to the ATL on Saturday. Could be a little nippy.
Love it. Did you watch much of the football this weekend?
Yeah, I had it on. I didn't watch any of the games in their entirety, but I was monitoring the day's events, and I was there late to watch Hawaii pull off the win against Stanford. So, yeah, man, I mean, it was good to have our game back.
Definitely. And we have a new folk hero already after week one. Well, that quarterback and kicker at Hawaii were pretty amazing. But also, how about Maverick McIver at Western Kentucky, their quarterback? Just the name alone just makes you want to talk about him.
Do you think, do anybody younger than you and me remember McIver?
It's a great question. Maybe not.
Sam, does that mean anything? Does just the name MacGyver by itself mean anything to you?
It does mean something to me, but like I'm not going to act like it holds a whole lot of weight with me.
What may be more identifiable for that generation is MacGruber, the guy they spoofed MacGyver on Saturday Night Live, which was pretty funny. Yeah, MacGyver was. Yeah, that used to be a slang term I'd use for all sorts of stuff. Like, man, you just MacGyvered that, you know?
Yeah, it became a verb.
Yeah.
Like MacGyver was the man. I mean, he could be like MacGyver would always find himself being held hostage somewhere by a bunch of terrorists, and he'd be like hands cuffed behind his back, stuffed into like a pipe somewhere in the middle of the earth, and he would have like a ballpoint pen that he had been given at the hotel earlier that day, and perhaps a paper clip, and managed to like free himself and then defeat all the terrorists. And he had a great mullet.
Oh, he had a great flow for sure. Might have to watch some MacGyver repeats now. No, it's football. I can't.
Didn't they have a MacGyver movie that came out after the show at some point? Like in 94, 95, something like that? Because the show was like from 85 to
Yeah.
92 it said, but then I'm looking, there's like a movie that came out as
I don't-
well.
yeah.
Trail to Doomsday is what it says.
I never saw it. I don't recall, but I could see.
MacGyver could have been on a crashing airplane and just like whip out a pair of scissors and cut a couple of lines and fashion a steering wheel out of some pretzels and somehow land the plane and save everyone on board.
Well, and that was what was great about MacGruber was they took that whole concept and then always turned it into his character was so confident that he had a fix for something. He'd sit there and talk about it, and it would like there'd be like a bomb that's going to go off, and he'd be like, "Don't you worry, I've got," and he starts rattling it off, and then they never get it done. Like the place explodes, and that's how they end the skit. But I don't know. Just keep an eye. Yeah, what a name though, Maverick MacIver. So you got Maverick, you think Top Gun, and then MacIver. That guy's a stud. Threw for 400 yards on Saturday. So there you go. Maybe we should have had him at quarterback for the Vols.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we were going into the season and our quarterback's name was Maverick MacIver? How just irrationally confident we would be based on absolutely nothing.
That's right. That's right. So today, like I was saying, we're going to take a little departure off Believe It, Don't Believe It, because we've been talking about this topic, and I think it's good. I think it'd be good to get your take on it. We've talked about it here. The guys have. We had Schumpert on earlier. We got his take on it. And that is talking about as we head into the Syracuse game. So let me break this down. Not counting, we've spent weeks, Russ. I know you have on your show. We have on this show. We have talked for weeks about Joey Aguilar, about Boo Carter, Jermod McCoy's status. There's probably a couple other players, but this team has some other ballers. And it's like, what player, if you think about it that way, what player that we have not been talking about much, if at all, in the past few weeks leading up to this game, are you most intrigued by as we head into the Syracuse game?
Bob, I got to say, I feel like you're aping some of the Drive's content here, because in our world, we call this a pick to click, buddy.
Oh. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm not that familiar with pick to click.
You're doing pick to click. I think you're familiar.
I've always heard Bear talk about pick to click, and then I've never really understood the premise of it. So honestly,
I think you just described it.
Yeah. Have we gotten Bear's pick to click yet? I feel like I heard some talk last week.
Yes, we did a whole show on it Friday, and I've forgotten already.
I just know Walker threw one out, and Bear had no idea who it was. I think he said Travis Smith Jr., and Bear's like, who the heck is that? Only the guy's been starting every practice this summer.
Now I'm bummed. I did not know that, and I wish I would have heard that, because that sounds like vintage Bear stuff.
I bought Bear a Lindy's college football preview so he would know that, and I can only assume that is soaking up spilled Mountain Dew and Marlboro in the back of his car right now, because yes, he had no idea who Travis Smith Jr. was. That is true. This is a fun game to play, man. I love it. Do I have to pick just one?
No, there's a couple. We can let you know who we picked after we hear yours, but
I mean, like really any of the receivers, right?
Sure.
Fall into somebody has to step up and be a playmaker. You need multiple guys. You need some committee work there, but somebody's got to be a star, right? I mean, if this season is going to come off the way we all want it to, somebody has got to come up and be the man. And for me, it's got to be Chris Brazzell. Like, he's the leading returning receiver, was supposed to be, we were all hyped up on him this time a year ago, and it just never really got going for him. He had some big moments, the touchdown against Alabama, obviously his biggest moment of the season. And you can see the talent there, but couldn't stay healthy. And I see some similarities between Chris Brazzell this year and Dante Thornton last year, where Thornton, had kind of the same thing, got his feet wet a little bit after a transfer, had some injury problems that kind of set him back. And then we were all expecting big things, the big year 2 jump, and he just had more injuries. Well, Chris Brazzell, we're all hoping for the big year 2 jump, and You talk about wah, 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 right before fall camp. It's like, well, he's not practicing. He had his knee scoped before the season. They hope he's going to be back. Oh, man, that took some of the wind out of my sails. But apparently he's back. He's working through it. He's got his legal problem in order. It's kind of now or never for him. I know Mike Matthews probably gets more of the headlines being a 5-star recruit out of high school, and we certainly want him to do well. But Brazel is the returnee, man. He's got, this is what, his third year of college experience, maybe his fourth, second year in Heupel's system. We need him to absolutely ball out. And then if I can flip over to the defensive side of the ball for a moment here, my pick to click on the show Friday was Idris Farouk. This is kind of a sneaky one, right? Not many people, I don't know if Bear knows who that is either, but he certainly pretended to on the show. Didn't see him much at all. Sophomore from up in Maryland, and he's kind of been thrust into the limelight. We know Turrentine is going to be a starter. He's a returner. We're all expecting solid play from him. And then I think Idris Farouk is going to be the other safety. Caleb Beasley is going to play quite a bit as well at that position, I would expect. But Farouk's an intriguing player. If you've seen his film from practice sessions this season, you can tell that he's put on weight. He's filled out. He's an athlete. He can run. Sounds like a smart kid who's picked up the system well. You know how Tim Banks depends and relies on the safeties in this defense. So I wouldn't think that they would throw him out there with the starters Saturday if they weren't confident in him. So that gives me confidence in him and makes him my pick. Guy I'm most. What are we calling this, Bob? What's your name for it? Guy you're most looking forward to seeing who hasn't really done anything yet?
Who you're most intrigued by going into the game?
Most intriguing. There you go.
That we haven't, and yeah, I'm so confused now because I try very hard not to be a concept poacher, and now you're making it sound like I have, and I'm only basing this on what I've heard from Bear, and I, honest to God, have never been able to really understand. What
nobody
click
has.
is.
It's just unintentional concept posting.
Yeah.
When I steal something, I steal it, Bob. I'm just like, that's a good idea. I'm going to call the same thing and just put it on my show and act like somebody calls me on it. What? I didn't know that Mike and Mike did that 10 years ago.
Well, you watch. If Bear's listening, he'll approach me on this like I stole the lyrics from Let It Be or something. It'll be something, so provincial that
you might end up in court over this, Bob.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly. Okay, those are good ones, and they're ones we didn't really think about. When you were saying receiver, the one name I think we did hear a little bit about receiver-wise, not so much Brazel, maybe about his injuries, but everybody's got expectations about Mike Matthews. So the fact that you sidestepped Matthews and went to Brazel, I agree with you. I think that one I think that's worthy for sure. Farouk, we did not even think about, and that's a good one though, because there was some emphasis on the defensive backfield from myself and Brett, and even Sam had a thought on the defensive backfield. For me, it was Ricky Gibson, and it's only because all I can think about is he kind of, in my opinion as a fan, he kind of put his neck on the line by going out there and demanding more money, talking about transferring, et cetera. Well, it seems like everything got worked out, and now I'm expecting big things. Guy had a great season last year. We just haven't talked much about him. And certainly with McCoy being out, et cetera, we need some big performances in the defensive backfield. So Gibson was the guy for me. Sam, what about you?
First of all, Russ, I like the Idris Farouk pick. I think we need to get shirts going for
it's just
the
great
Farouk
name.
fanatics, I think.
What the Farouk?
It's no Maverick MacGyver, but it's a pretty solid name.
It's up there. Earlier I said, I feel like he's maybe if we're going into the pick the click territory, he's already clicked a little bit, but if we're going with just kind of a guy that is maybe not had as much hype in the offseason, I said Josh Josephs earlier in the show. I expect him to have more of a James Pierce-like season than maybe some people are kind of expecting for him. I think he's really, really strong in the run game. I think he's getting even better in terms of just rushing the passer. So I would expect him on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to go, honestly, and it's 5-star freshman. It's easy to say. I think David Sanders is just going to make this offensive line so much better this year. And I think when you go back to last year and kind of the revolving door at that right tackle spot you had, whether it was John Campbell or Dane Davis trying to make do with what you had over there, like I think Lance Hurd being healthy fully and just knowing that you've got that left side locked down, that makes me feel a lot better. But I just feel so much better about that right tackle spot with David Sanders coming in there as a 5-star freshman, putting on all that weight in the offseason. I just thought last year was kind of a disaster at that right tackle spot with John Campbell playing at about 60% and trying his hardest to stay through a game, but felt like he could only give you one half of football at a time. And then it was Dane Davis and, VFL, got to love him, but not my first choice as a right tackle in SEC play. So I think David Sanders is just going to elevate the play of this offensive line so much more. And that's not exactly a hot take given that he's one of the most talented players on this roster, but I really think you're going to see this offensive line take a step up this year.
Brett.
I said Turntine earlier, but the more I thought about it, Russ did, mention Farouk, but I think Jordan Ross is another name that maybe I'll go with. A guy 5-star as well. He's been sitting there biding his time, and I think he could have an impact. We've seen him flash even on special teams last year, how quick he got to a dang punter on a couple of those. So, I think he's going to play a role, behind a Josephs or whoever. So I think Jordan Ross might sneak up, and these are the type of kids that a lot of teams wanted. And I think he could be an instant impact guy off the edge for the Vols if they want to move Josephs around. Maybe you do a little speed package on a blitz or get your best pass rushers out there. I think he has the ability to be one of those guys.
So there you have it. I think it sounds like there's really, if you think about it, well, Sanders is on offense, Brazel's on offense. I mean, a lot of emphasis on some of these defensive guys. We were talking, Russ, also about the prospect of, I think even Schump was saying that last week that we may not be seeing Boo Carter on Sunday or Saturday against Syracuse, but Heupel dispelled that today, saying he anticipates Boo being available on Saturday. So I think that's a good development too, because we talked a little bit about who's going to occupy that star position if it's not Boo Carter, and sounds like maybe that dilemma is averted for now.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would be surprised if he starts.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've talked about this. It might be the James Pierce treatment from a year ago where he didn't start those games but ended up playing. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. The other thing I would throw out there, I was watching an interview Austin Price had with Josh Heupel earlier today, and they asked him basically this exact same question about, who are some guys that we haven't seen much that are going to play. And, Heupel hates being specific on these types of questions, but he did mention that the two guys he mentioned were Jordan Ross, the guy that he thinks can take a big step forward, and then Jesse Perry, who looks to have locked down that starting right guard spot. He added, you'll notice the guys who are around the ball. So he was going to stick to in the trenches kind of thing. But if Jordan Ross, as Brett suggested, does kind of live up to the hype, that edge rusher position, a lot of talent, but it doesn't feel like Josh Josephs has a stranglehold on being just the number one guy there. I think we're going to see Herring, and I think we're going to see Ross. So that might be, we always talk about like running back by committee and you go with the hot hand. That might be kind of the same situation at that primary edge rush position for Tennessee this year, where it's like, if Jordan Ross gets in the game in the second quarter and makes a couple things happen, maybe you see him get more snaps. I mean, it's pretty cool that Tennessee has the depth that they do at that position. So looking forward to seeing all those guys.
Definitely so. God, it feels good, man. It's like I was saying earlier, we went through this long, dry summer, and now here we are, just counting down a few days. Just a few. So what you got going on in the drive today?
Good question. Probably ought to look at that soon. No, we're going to be moving into full-on game week territory. We do have the What You Talking About Championship coming up this afternoon. We've narrowed it down to three finalists. We had a drunk guy win Friday. I'm not making that up.
Nice.
Wow.
The guy called in from the golf course, smashed, and was able to win. So it was very impressive. Nick, we'll see if he can hoist the golden chalice this afternoon. And then our first North Knox Siding and Windows High School Football Player of the Week announcement. Very excited about that. And, of course, we'll have plenty on the Vols in Syracuse.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we'll be listening. And I'll be listening to see who wins what you're talking about and see if they could best my score low those few weeks ago when I dominated Cody McClure.
Yeah, but can you do it drunk?
No, I don't think I could. That's pretty
drunk.
impressive.
I mean,
Do you have to be drunk
kind of
again
bored.
now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting kind of bored of this game after 10 years or so. I mean, everything needs to be freshened up. Maybe drunk what you talking about next year on the drive.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one. Russ, as always, man, appreciate you hopping on with us. Give this guy a listen, 3 p.m. weekdays, The Drive. He and that Bear guy and Walker, they put on a good show. It's enjoyable. It's fun. Bear notwithstanding.
Easy now. Easy now.
I'm just kidding.
As Butch Jones said, be kind.
Be kind. I agree. That's fair. All right, my man. Thank you again. We'll be listening this afternoon. Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. See you guys.
See you, Russ.
One more break, and then we'll return with Champions of the Weekend. Be right back. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hi, this is Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group at Realty Executives, and I know there's a lot of choices here in East Tennessee when it comes to choosing a realtor. Here's why the Kregner Group is different. At the Kregner Group, our motto is walking by faith, serving others. It's how I live my life. It's how I run my business. Here at the Kregner Group, we're committed to doing real estate the right way. Faith, honesty, integrity. The Kregner Group. Call me anytime at 865-742-1035 or visit my website at boknowshouses.com.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through, and if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
fantasy football draft that we're doing for the Fan Run League. We'll have to elaborate on that tomorrow. It's like
you opting out, Bob?
Not opting out, but
okay.
There's a few things. Also, it feels like that may take longer than the draft itself.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. That's okay. We'll break it down for you, though, tomorrow, because a lot of it's going to be content for the Fan Run digital account. Let's talk about some champions of the weekend real quick. We've talked about a couple of them for me. Number 3 for me was Cal Raleigh. He's got those Tennessee ties with his dad. Not necessarily doing a bang-up job as coach of the baseball Vols here, but there is that Tennessee tie. Cal sets the MLB record for home runs in a season with his 49th home run. He hit, I think, 2 maybe in the same game. It's pretty impressive. Number 2, how about a VFL? Santiago Vescovi.
Yeah. Had himself a little game.
Playing for Uruguay's team in the FIBA America Cup. He scored 24 points to lead Uruguay to victory over the USA. He even won an award from TCL. I don't know what that means, but he was the TCL player of the game. But 24 points for Santi. I was watching some of the video. Looked like old times out there.
Mm-hmm.
Guy was balling. And then number 1, how can you not give it to Tommy Fleetwood? The tour's most likable non-champ is no longer a non-champ. He finally does it. After a couple of the ones that got away, Tommy wins the Tour Championship and the FedEx Cup, wins a bunch of money, and hard-pressed to find anybody who's not happy for that dude. That's my list.
I said at the start of the show, got to give the Hawaii kicker a shout-out. Kansei Matsuzawa. Matsuzawa. That's it.
Whatever you say, I'll say is right. I have no idea.
Absolute stud. Learned how to kick off YouTube. Basically came over and went and did JUCO football for a little bit. If you listen to his post-game press conference, he said he was more nervous to do the presser post-game than he was to kick the field goal, the game-winning field goal, because he feels like his English isn't all that good. Speaks great English, honestly. So shout out to this guy. Shout out to Hawaii, honestly, because Alejado had himself a game too, just embodying the Rainbow Warrior spirit and coming back for that victory.
When he was healthy, man, he ran a couple times. He
did. As soon as I thought, I was like, this guy needs to come out of the ball game, he went out and just scrambled for like 15 yards. I was like, yeah, he's doing just fine. I guess just Hawaii football. That can just be my champion of the weekend. Shout out to them.
There you go. Tomorrow we will continue on to prepare for Syracuse. We'll have Michael McAllister here from Q's Nation, part of the 247 network, talking Syracuse football. We'll also have Chris Lowe on tomorrow. Talk about the Vols, of course, but also want to get Chris's take on the expansion of the SEC conference schedule and what it means in terms of college football playoff composition, get his take on everything. So we're looking forward to Chris being on. Should be a fun one. Should be a fun week. Got a lot going on and probably a lot more to announce as the week goes on. So appreciate you sticking with us. Sam, good job today. As always, appreciate your help. Brett, great work back there. I know you're handling a lot, so thank you. And you, the listener, of course, thank you for spending time with us. Keep it locked in on Fan Run Radio. The local programming continues with the Chase. Chase Thomas coming up at 1. Russell Smith and the boys on the drive at 3. And then William Pattison with overtime at 6. We'll be back here tomorrow. Have a great, great day.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.